From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Old stories, living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know we don't chase a moment, we are the hope. Hands up high, voice up loud, same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stay, even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Old stories, living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our land, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know we don't chase a moment, we are the hope. Hands up high, voice up loud, same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our land, this is our skin. Blue till the end, blue till the end.
You ever try to explain this to someone and they just don't get it?
First game I watched, didn't know the score, just knew I'd be back for more. Cold hands, hot cheeks in the hallway glow, a stranger yelling shoot from the row. I kept score on a folded receipt, saw my name in the bounce of the seats. You laughed like I've been here before, then I knew, yeah I knew for sure. Now my heart runs there every time you call. One small spark turns into it all. I'm back for more, I'm back for more. Same old roar, I'm back for more. You call, I run, you smile, I fall. I'm back for more, through it all. Now I know the plays by the way they bend, know the look when the season leans. Got a worn-out jacket on the backseat now, in a secret grin I wear out loud. You still ask why I care this much, like it's just a game, just luck. But I saw my life in that opening tip, one quick move and I was in it. Now my heart runs there every time you call. One small spark turns into it all. I'm back for more, I'm back for more. Same old roar, I'm back for more. You call, I run, you smile, I fall. I'm back for more, through it all. Oh, maybe I can't explain it right, maybe that's the whole damn truth. Some things at once then stay, like a name carved through. I'm back for more, I'm back for more. Same old roar, I'm back for more. You call, I run, you smile, I fall. I'm back for more, through it all. Oh. damn truth. Some things hit once then stay, like a name carved through.
All right, people, I'm going to say big up to all of you, but I don't think, and as you can tell, I don't have the energy to big up everybody the way like I usually do, but can I? You know what? Big up to all of you. Indeed, I know this too shall pass. I wasn't looking forward to the game, but I didn't think we were going to lose the way we lost that game. It was poor. Irrespective of what the numbers say, we lost. We shouldn't have started the way we started that game. We shouldn't have considered the sort of goal we considered, the penalty. Everything was just awful. It broke my heart, and I wasn't feeling well already. And yeah, that sort of performance, I'm not sure. It was soulless. By the time we woke up, it was late. It was too late. We could, because yeah, they were all already leading, and they defended resolutely. We had chances, but it doesn't matter. We lost at home again in 2026. It is. I'm not sure how to say it, but even though I know this will pass, but it breaks the heart, really. Anyway, as usual, I'm going to say hello to those of you in the chat, then come back to the panel. I have Bobby on the panel here. It's been a minute, but it looks like, yeah, he's not happy enough that he stayed awake to come give us his 2 cents, and it'd be interesting to hear what he believes went wrong, and I know a lot of other stuff that will come with it. All right, big up to you too. Nice to see you, and I don't think you should be saying this. Irrespective of what happens, I'm not going to say RIP Chelsea FC. There are those that follow Chelsea. When I was told the story, Chelsea was relegated. Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard them say RIP Chelsea FC. So I don't think that's a good thing to do, actually. And I respect you, but I hate it when I see that. And the same people, if we start scoring today, they'll start cheering. I can't believe I'm saying this to you, IB. Ibro, my bro. You shouldn't be saying that. Just speak your mind. Say how you feel about the situation. I don't think it's okay to say RIP Chelsea FC. We've been through worse. But I know we should be doing better given how much we spent and given the squad we have. And, you know, it's been, you could say, a messy end, clearly a messy end to the end of the season. But that's, by the way, this year, I apologize on behalf of the Kinetic Academy. I'm sorry we failed to guide the club into a UEFA Champions League spot. Okay, I get it. What else do you have here? I blame Mbappe for influencing our players to be in a Hollywood mood. And this begs the question, I'm going to say this quickly before I forget. What were they thinking, letting the players take a break? Because we beat Leeds United. I didn't like that, but I just had to, you could say, it's a situation that, yeah, I can jump and land upside down and wouldn't make any difference. Anyway, Ibali, put your ego aside and go back to your 9-5 in private equity. Let the sporting people do their job. Didn't they have 5 sporting directors? I'm not. Here's the thing. It's a complicated situation, really. Mbappe influenced Garnacho and Fofana, and these two influenced the rest of the team. Honestly, I'm not in the mood to read this kind of joke today. I'm going to be honest with you. 22 comments anyway. I'm going to say hello to everybody. Scroll to the very bottom. What I want to hear from you, what do you think went wrong? Because we had no business losing this game. But I suspected it was going to be a difficult one for us. I didn't think we were going to lose it. I thought it was going to end in a draw or break either way, like 2-1. And you say it could be just a 1-goal lead loss or something to that effect. I didn't expect us to be 3 goals down and be actually scraping together to get an equalizing goal or something like that. Up the Chelsea, keep smashing the like button, people. The likes do go a long way. Ebro, thank you, nice to see you. And I'm not sure who is this, Richard Hughes. Okay, Richard, thank you for joining the conversation. He said he's back after 32 games to say once again we need Ousmane Diamonde and Diogo Costa before Real Madrid buy both. Okay, we'll see. we needed to sell 10 players. We're not doing that again. This team doesn't need overhaul. It just needs a few signings. If you sign 10 players, you're starting afresh again. So we don't need that many signings. That's why I can't believe I'm saying this. I thought we did well in the summer, but looking back, I realized we could have at least, or should have at least prioritized our spending, knowing that, okay, we have issues, or you could say financial issues or situation with UEFA involved. Why not sign Gittins alone, use the other money and sign a defender, or one of the both, and use the rest of the money and sign a defender? Now it's clear that we needed a defender because I don't think I wouldn't say that that the defenders were necessarily the reason why we lost today. But if you look at all the games we've lost throughout the season, I'd swear that at least 80% plus of them were down to defensive errors. Yeah, unfortunately. Only 10, yeah, let's make them 20. Only 3 coaches can save can save that team. Mourinho, Simone, Zidane, Cesc, nope. Who? Xavi, nope. Xavi can, Cesc cannot. Cesc is very inexperienced. The other ones, yeah, you're mentioning, I don't think that Chelsea are gonna hire Silva. Let's see, what else do we have here? Says the lap. Tosin, Gittins, Badia, Sheila, Jorgensen, Garnacho, Guy, Mudrik, Sanchez. Who am I missing? Here's the thing. I think every time we have such issues, we start saying, we start discussing how it would be better off selling all our players. Do you know what that means? We will get worse. We just need a few signings here and there, at most 4, and we'll be all right. For the game, we had 67% possession and 641 passes completed. So we are back. Just the mentality of the players are in Italy vacationing. I think I'd say that too. Why would they let? I don't understand why they had to take a break. We were losing games right front, center, up, and down, and then we beat Leeds United to make it to the FA Cup final, and boom, they were all on a flight to Spain. You don't necessarily have to go on holiday. Even if you need a break, stay in England. Whether you went by a train or flight, it doesn't really matter. And now if that's travel, I think a lot of people will start talking about it. But big up to all of you. I will scroll to the very bottom and then Drew, nice to see you. I've said hello to everybody here. I will try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Bobby, welcome to the panel. Let's hear you. What went wrong for you and what do you have to say? You go ahead, you have the floor. And we have on the panel also, even though I said I'm not going to big up anybody, I'm just going to do it anyway. Constantine Don. Big up to you, my brother. I wasn't looking forward to this game. I've checked out like a long ago.
Yep.
I was ready for whatever happened today, but it was more than I thought it would be. But Bobby, let's hear you. Big up to you. Thank you for joining the conversation. I can't hear you if you're speaking. I can see your mic is not muted, which means maybe you're speaking. Is it? Can you hear him, Dante?
No, I can't hear him either. No.
All right, Dante. Let's wait and see if he can fix his stuff. Your thoughts, Dante? What happened? Really?
Yeah, big up, coach. Everyone out in the chat
Big
as
up
well.
to you too.
Yeah, not a good day, obviously. Yeah, look, when luck's not in your favor, it really is not in your favor. I mean, the players, look, they didn't play too bad, to be honest. I think it was just moments, like really lackluster start. Of course, that was a problem, going that 1 goal down. Just bad positioning from Chalobah. I mean, he's got Tosin in front of him. The guy's going to cross the ball. You can't be that close to Tosin. You have to be further back. He was just marking no one. He couldn't even get, again, he's not very good in the air, so he didn't get to the ball. Gusto, really, he had his man. He was covering his man. So, yeah, unfortunately, a bit of a defensive. I think it was just too early. He wasn't switched on, to be honest. The other moments, well, like I said, a bit of luck. It can change games. And Enzo Fernandez hits the post. They go up the other side, and then they get a penalty from a stupid pull from Malagusta. I think he had a horrible
What
game.
was what? That didn't look like what a professional would do. It looked like what a primary school kid would do. You're pulling him clearly. He was. Why not just follow him? Let your body be touching him. Make him uncomfortable.
And he wasn't
If you
getting to
get,
the ball at all. Anyway, he
he
was never getting the
wasn't.
ball.
I
He
knew
was
the
never
moment
getting
I
that
saw
ball
that, I
anyway.
knew it was a penalty. Because
They
yeah,
have
the
to give
truth
it.
the truth remains. Taiwo, or one of you, if you prefer, could have gotten to the ball.
No, I don't think he could have got to the ball. It was
I
too
think he
hard
could
hit, and he
have.
was
He,
way.
you know, I know him very well to know he's good aerially. He could have gotten to that ball, in my opinion. But even at that,
It doesn't
why
matter
was
anyway.
Gusto thinking? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he got to it or couldn't got to it. I don't think he would have got to it because it was very far away. That just tells you that's even worse defending because he didn't read
Yeah,
the
yeah,
flight
Bobby,
of
I'll
the
come
ball.
back to you. Yeah, we weren't hearing you. Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, so that was very, very silly defending, like very lackluster. Like you said, primary school stuff. Like you don't pull a shirt like
Like,
you're
jeez,
giving.
I could not believe that.
No, I couldn't either. And yeah, I'm like, come on, what is this? It's like, are you guys on purpose trying to lose, or you're giving the game away on purpose? But anyway, like I said, Fernandez hits the post, and that goes the other way, and exactly that on the counter attack happens. After that, of course, I mean, I think one positive is probably
The
Jason
penalty
Derry.
miss and all that. Anyway, but that doesn't take away the fact that you can say it was an embarrassing loss because we were at home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's embarrassing loss. I mean, this is the sixth loss in a row. At home, I'm not surprised that we lose at home because the crowds. I wish we play away more, to be honest. We do much, much better away than at
I
home.
mean, do you blame them
Unfortunately,
that much?
the crowd doesn't help at all at Stamford Bridge. But anyway, the other goal, Palmer. I was gonna say one of the positive was Jason's Derry performance. I think he had a really good performance in his debut.
I nearly cried because the kid. I wanted to say that okay, you know what? Whatever happens, let's focus on signing defenders because Kenda is coming and that kid is he's really really good.
Very good, yeah. Very quick with his
Yeah,
feet.
Bobby,
Like I
I'll
said,
come to
he's
you,
probably
Bobby.
one
I'll
of the
come to you,
ones.
please. I'll come to you. Have the time to speak. Go ahead, Dante, if you're still
Yeah,
speaking.
he's like I said, he's probably one of the ones that when you asked me a few weeks ago who's going to come up, remember I said him and another couple of guys. I said they're probably the ones to come up, and yeah, I'm glad he did because I think he had a really, really good debut, played very well. Got that. Unfortunately, got knocked out for his troubles, but got the penalty, and it's a shame because we didn't have any other
I knew
attackers on the
Palmer was
bench.
gonna miss that.
I knew he was gonna
We've
miss
been
it
there
because I knew
before.
I
Yeah.
knew where he was gonna. I knew where he was gonna shoot it, and the goalkeeper knew as well because when you're in the form he is, you're gonna hit it in your safe spot, which is obviously with his left foot down to the right hand side of the post, and that's the keeper already knew he was going there. I knew he was going there. I'm like, he's gonna go there. The keeper knows he's gonna go there. He's gonna miss it. That's exactly what happened. I mean, yeah, not a very good penalty to be honest. Good save as well. Let's give the keeper credit, but just very predictable from Cole Palmer, unfortunately. If that goal went in, maybe it would have changed things. But unfortunately, after that, it was, yeah, too late. But yeah, Jesse Derry is probably the only positive of the day. Like I said, great performance, great first half. It's a shame he got injured and got that because I think he would have probably played really well the second half, maybe even helped us get in the game because, he probably would have played quite a lot because we didn't have anyone else. No Garnacho, no Neto on the bench. We had no wingers, no attacking players on the bench at all. So,
Why
yeah, it's a
wasn't
shame,
Ganacho?
but
Was he sick?
I'm not sure what happened with Garnacho and Neto. Neto was at the game. I saw him at the game. I'm not sure. He must have had
But
something.
understand.
Yeah, I haven't seen what's happened to them to be honest. But we had no attacking players because them two out. Gittins was out as well. We had no attacking players, so only the lap, and he came on for Derry, obviously. So, yeah,
Which
unfortunately,
means
no
something
other.
is that it doesn't look like the wingers were both. It looks like both weren't fit.
Something happened. Yeah, maybe they're
Something
sick.
happened.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure,
All
but
right.
something's happened. I haven't seen what yet, so I'm not sure. But
All
yeah,
right. Well,
overall,
go
bad
ahead.
performance, very disappointing. I knew once they scored their second goal, we're not coming back against these guys. They're going to go in the low
If
block.
anything, they'd score more because we'll be all out to cancel out the goals.
Yeah, we changed that up in the second half. we kind of took one set a defensive midfield a bit away and put it one more forward. So we tried, but they always went into a nasty low block, and all we can do is really pass the ball around and try to score. We had a couple of good chances, but João Pedro took a really good goal. That was a really nice goal. I think he's probably played the best today. João Pedro, probably Enzo
He
Fernandez.
was one of, you could say, the most. You could
He
say
tried.
he looks. He tried his best.
He
Yeah.
tried really hard. He
All
kept
right.
trying to do something, trying to create. But basically, it was only him, Enzo Fernandez, and Derry.
Coach,
They're the only ones to me that looked like they were ready to play today, to be honest.
All right.
coach,
All right, Bobby.
coach,
Let's hear you. Yeah. Go ahead.
coach. How many times? How many times? When you have an injury in a Chelsea game, who is it to? Always a Chelsea player, especially long term. What does that tell you? The club has spent £2 billion investing in weakness. There's no physicality in that team. How many times do I have to say this? We're talking about Jesse Derry. Really? Really? We're talking about Enzo Fernandez. Our midfield, they're all short. They're all short men. We have nothing on the left. We have nothing on the right. Our centre backs are quite short. Our attack, we only have one attacker. Let's stop deluding ourselves. All this unnecessary hype being given to Cole Palmer. The guy is off form. Personally, I don't think he should go to the World Cup. I think one of the worst things you can do to Cole Palmer this summer is send him to the World Cup. He has to sit down and rest and think about his game going forward. That team needs at least 5 new players and needs to offload other players. We need an elite coach. God knows what's happened with Enzo Maresca. What are we saying? We've seen what happened with him. Maresca took this team into the blueprint of a winning team. And what did they do? They frustrate him into the arms of discussions with another team. Quite frankly, the sporting directors, their position is untenable. At this point, with full chest, I'll tell you, employ me as a sporting director at Chelsea Football Club. I will do 100 times a better job. They don't have an eye for players. They don't know what it takes to build a winning team. They don't even understand the structures of English football. Goodness knows where they got their name from in Brighton. But when you're messing around with mediocrity, you get mediocrity. Chelsea's in big trouble. I've never seen a problem like this. You can't even sell the club because they piecemealed it all over the place. They've injected a financial situation that could have only been rectified with success on the pitch. And what have they done? They've nosedived success on the pitch. I don't trust the sporting directors anymore. The owners, I don't think they're going anywhere, but for once, I'm going to say I trust the protest because at least the protest is the only way Chelsea fans can register their discontent with the irresponsibility and the total incompetence going on at the club running level. Let's put it that way. I'm sick. If you look at Thiago Silva's face today, he was sickened by what he saw. There's nobody with real blue blood that will look at that performance, look at what's happening with that team, and feel anything other than sheer disgust. Sheer disgust. Um, um, Callum McFarlane came out and said in the post match that Neto and Garnacho had knocks. To be honest with you, we didn't miss either of them, especially Garnacho. £45 million thrown down the drain on a physically and technically inept player. I knew it from the start. I knew it from the start. Everything has been about giving them an opportunity. You see the mistake, but because you love Chelsea, you keep backing them. It's now come to the end of the road. There's nothing else to back. What I've been looking at is have we got enough points to avoid relegation? because I can't see this lot winning anything till the for the rest of the season. I really can't. I think this losing streak is going to continue. This problem is probably bigger than we actually realize. I certainly was one of those that was completely against the constant barrage of attacks by the likes of Johnny Minerals, Bobby Fairview. To be fair, I think it was premature. I think the club was going in a right direction when eventually, they got the Club World Cup, they got clearly into the Champions League positions, they completed the European trophy set, they were on track. Then a disastrous summer transfer window has created a situation where all their naysayers can turn around and say they were right. They can't even dig themselves out of a hole because they've created an even deeper hole. I'm disgusted. I don't know where else to turn to be honest, because
How
honest,
deep do you think the hole is, Bobby? Let's make something clear here. We've made another
I,
mistake, in my
yeah.
opinion, for not
Oh, this is
prioritizing, you could say, our spend in the last transfer window because, yeah, we had a
shocking.
good opportunity to make
You get rid
just
of
a few signings.
you get rid of Nicholas Jackson to what end?
Who
For
got?
what
How do you know
purpose?
that Nicholas Jackson was gotten rid of? Why do you? How do you know?
Bro, they got
You
rid of
can we say something,
Jackson.
Bobby? I'm not saying we're
They
in a very good situation now. Let's be honest here. The same you that is praising Maresca that yeah we should have found a solution, and at least in my opinion I believe that we should have tried to convince him to stay for the rest of the season, but probably he was concerned for one reason or the other, but I don't want to get in there. I just feel betrayed by Maresca. My point is, if you're supporting Maresca, did you know that if anything happened, that Nicholas Jackson pushing to leave Chelsea was down to how Maresca treated him? That's a Maresca, so you can't eat your cake and have it. It's either Maresca stayed or Jackson, you could say one of them had to leave the club at the time.
look, I'm not
But
really
you're sounding as if the
interested
club
in
you're
in in
sounding
an
as if the club pushed
argumentative
Nicholas Jackson
position.
away. The clubs that was
I
literally
I
begging
think
him to come
I
back and
think
not go on loan, which
I
tells me
think
they never wanted him to leave. But go ahead.
I think there is value in the fact that he fell out with Maresca. Look, Enzo Maresca is a very strong-headed guy. There's no two ways about it. That is true. But all successful coaches are. Many of them it's either their way or the highway. Mourinho's the same, Klopp's
Which
the
is okay by
same,
me. They're all like that.
Pep's the same. They're all like that. Now, as a management and ownership structure, you don't go butting heads with somebody that you put in place and has been successful for you. Okay, he fell out with Nicholas Jackson and that position was untenable. Okay, was it the same with Madueke? Was it the same with Nkunku? I have my doubts. It can't be the same with everybody. Okay, if it was the same with everybody, he asked you for centre backs. There has to be a point in the whole discussion where we could say, okay, they gave him or they surrendered to his demands as a reward for bringing £100 million into the club by winning the Club World Cup,
Okay.
at the
And here's
very
something else,
least.
Bobby. Here's something else. Adhering to his demands or maybe signing the players he asked them to sign would
Hmm.
definitely mean us signing players of certain profiles, you could say, suitable to his approach. What
Hmm.
happens if he leaves? Another manager comes
Okay.
in and wants a different, because we've been there on that. We've been there on that. What's his
Let
name? On
let
that
me
Roman
let
Abramovich,
me
which led to us having tons of
let
players. Then what did we call them at the time? Um, there was a term, a popular term that the fans used at the time. So it was a huge risk, in my opinion. And the fact that he had told them already, and this is just unnecessary revisionism. We are where we are, and I think we should deal with the situation we find ourselves in,
well the
rather than to
the
always
the
mention
the
Maresca,
situation
who used
the
us to
sit
polish his
coach
resume and
coach
had to leave. But go ahead,
Coach,
go ahead.
unfortunately, we can't go forward without looking back. You can't go forward without looking back at your
I
mistakes.
I mean, maybe that's how you
One
operate.
of the,
I
but
look, we
that is the
know he's
truth.
left. We
One
know it
of
was
the
a mistake that he
biggest,
left. Then
one
why
of
do I
the,
need to look back again? What
one
am I
of
going to
the,
learn from it again, Bobby?
one of the biggest mistakes is the selection and the purchase of playing staff personnel. This guy in PSG, oh gosh, that's knocking in all the goals left, right, and center. Um,
Carver, former Napoli guy.
Cavascalia,
I
whatever his
can't say
name
his
is.
name. Sorry.
You know, he was meant to be on Chelsea's radar. What happened? What happened? He's not an old player. He's just a bloody good player. And you end up getting Jamie Gittins. I mean, come on. Mistake after mistake after mistake.
Bobby, if you
It's
want to
not
do
that they
revisionism,
didn't,
there is a
it's not
reason
as you've
why
got to
you bought Gittins and
revise.
Garnacho. There's a big
You've
reason
got to
why.
review. You've got to review. You've
Okay,
got to review. You
what
can't
do
go
we, what,
forward
Bobby,
without
what
a
can we
review.
learn from the Enzo Maresca situation? Simple that we could have at least,
Well,
you can say, urged him
going
to finish the
forward, what
season with us.
let me just knock the
Yeah.
nail on the head. What I want to see going forward, if it's possible, if the funding is there, I don't even know if it is. Going forward, I want to see number one, a new sporting director appointed. I can see why Christopher Vival left with frustration because we've got this Winston Charlie and Stuart Charlie that, quite frankly, are showing themselves to be mediocre. I
Sorry, are
think
they brothers?
I don't, I mean,
Okay, you just mentioned Charlie. I didn't know.
they're brothers in stupidity. That's why I called them Charlie. I wanted to use a
Okay,
less
go ahead.
hostile word. Now, once you've made these sort of catastrophic errors, you have to go. To me, it's not enough to just get rid of a Liam Rosinia, who, quite frankly, wasn't up to the job in the first place. Who put him there? It's them. Who brought the deficiencies in the squad? It's them. So they have to follow on the chopping block for sure. We need to get other sporting director, not more than one. If you think the workload is too much for one, you employ one head and he can then have staff around him to do other things. That's my first rectification. Number two, I want to do something radical with the playing staff. I need to get rid of your left flank entirely. Those two on the left must go. You have to look out there. I'm at a loss at what's out there, but I'm pretty sure that whatever you can bring in out there, if you have your eye in the right direction, you will get something much better than what we have already. Unfortunately, we have a problem in midfield. Our midfielders are all too short. Too many short men in one place. We need to get some height. If one has to go, as long as it's not Caicedo, so be it. But we need to get some height in that midfield. That's part of the problem. Unfortunately, Gusto has reached his ceiling. I don't see anything else from him. He needs to go. We need to overhaul the playing staff of at least five players. Three of the centre backs need to go. That's for sure, because they're not good enough. If we until we start to tell ourselves these realities and make these changes for the correct players physically and technically, we're just going to repeat the same thing all over again. That's my solution. But do we have the money for that solution now? Because without Champions League football, do you know what? I would rather we don't even go into Europe, to be
I've
honest.
said that myself. I'd rather us not play in Europe or
You know,
only focus on the most domestic competitions. I think that'll
and
go a
and
long way
and
for us.
and and
Yeah,
rebuild the team,
exactly.
because
If it's not
I
Champions League, we don't want. We've won
you know
the Europa League already. We've won that
well
like two
the
times.
only thing
Or how many
about
times?
the only thing about the Europa League, we've won it twice, is that I think for the sake of the fans, it would be nice to win the FA Cup, but
Yeah, you will. I'd rather the FA Cup. Yeah.
Against City, I don't see it happening. So I would rather forget the league position. That's why I've been looking at the relegation points. forget the
Come
league
on, Bobby. It's
position,
not relegation. What are you
and
talking about?
continue. I hope not. I hope not.
What is
I
wrong with
haven't
you?
checked the
Come on.
points. How
Are you
far are we
serious?
from?
No,
How far are
I've
we
never
from
been
that?
concerned. I've never actually been concerned about that really.
Well,
But
if you look at the form,
that's not to say it's not a possibility.
losing your last 6 games, conceding 18 goals and
That's a
scoring only
relegation
one.
form.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
but it's the even if we lose the next 4 games in a row, we're still not getting relegated. So
No, no,
what's the
I
point?
know, but it's a relegation form. It's just that we were safe already before it started happening, and down to how poor other teams have been this season too, in my opinion. But I get where you're coming from. I mean, it's a very very bad situation that we
To be
found
honest,
ourselves in.
coach,
Yeah,
there has to be that sort of transformation. We can't repeat this and go
we
into
can,
next
Bobby. We
season.
don't need drastic measures to start competing.
Oh, we need drastic enough.
I don't,
We
not
got to get rid
necessarily.
of some
Here's the thing, Bobby.
You
players.
Can we
need
say?
four or five
Can
players,
we
Bobby.
go back
Isn't
to
that
this?
right?
You cannot
Yeah,
tell me
That's
that you
not drastic.
believe
That's
Bobby. Can I
normal.
say this? You
okay.
cannot tell me that you believe that had we listened to Maresca and signed him just one defender, that we would have been all right. And then now tell me because of the situation we find ourselves in now, you're telling me we need drastic measures. No, for me, I don't think so. Listen, as mad as I am, I don't want to use the other word, and as annoyed, as miffed, as whatever, angry as I am, I still try the best I can to look at the situation holistically and objectively. In all honesty, I'm not saying the owners are perfect. I want them to change things. We've suffered enough. But I'm going
What
to say
things do
this.
you want them to
If
change?
you look at the
You're talking
losses,
about Kenda. You're going back to much of
no,
the
no, I
same.
haven't mentioned
How
Kenda. I
tall
haven't
is
mentioned any
Kenda?
player.
How
Listen
tall
to
is
what I'm
Kenda?
trying to
Five
explain,
foot one.
Bobby. Listen to
Another
what I'm
midget.
trying to explain. I'm saying what I'm trying to go back to is that, yeah, we weren't strategic. We weren't, you could say, we weren't strategic with our signings last summer window. And if you look at all the losses this season, all of them, I'd swear they're up to 80% plus were down to defensive errors.
Mm.
That's the point I'm trying to make. So we
Most
don't
of the
need
time, yeah.
overhaul. An overhaul would mean starting afresh again. Even if we sign the best, you can say clear out the entire squad and sign use the
Coach,
best in the world
when you
in
get
every
rid of
position.
when you
We'll
get
be
rid
like
of three centre
Liverpool. Even
backs.
with how good they are, we'll still be struggling. We don't. We need to sign at least maybe 3 CBs. It depends on how many we let go, and
Yeah.
then work on the left hand side, like two left hand side players and one number. Not a lot. We don't need to sign a lot of players, Bobby. We just need to
Four.
be
You've
strategic.
already
Hello.
mentioned four, and to me,
4 or
No,
that's a
I'm
or
no
saying
5,
go.
yeah.
that's because in the moment I mentioned four, we might not need up to four, but at four would be fine. Four isn't overhaul.
Even before we start thinking of signing players, for me, first of all, I think uh, we've seen situations whereby in some clubs you have some certain kind of coach that will just unleash the dragon in some players. First of
Mm,
all, we need a good coach. We do not have a
yeah,
coach. And
yeah.
then secondly, I agree with what Bobby said initially. All these five
I'd be
idiots.
shocked if you don't agree with Bobby.
No,
And
all
what
these
kind of
five
a brother are you, sir?
all
Just
these
go.
all these five idiots we have as sporting directors. We don't need them. We only
No.
need one good sporting director. Only one.
Honestly, I
Oh,
don't think we need five. They say
Chelsea.
two heads are better than one, but two stupid heads remain stupid.
Yeah, yeah. I think we
Get
have
you a
more than two.
Ganacho.
Yeah, we have more than two. But then Chelsea is the
We
only
needed,
club.
yeah, we
I,
needed them, but going
eh,
I
forward,
try.
probably a couple
We
of
don't
probably two is
anymore.
enough. We don't need that many.
we
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, and
I
I
try to
remember
be
that was one
kind
of the
and call
things.
them
It was
Charlies.
one of the things Tuku said before he left. After he gathered in an interview, he said football is not a place where multiple people have to make a decision. He said it will bring chaos. At the end of the day, you won't be able to move forward. You get stuck. He said it's a decision that you will make with by one or two experts. So if we look at it, right, our problem first of all, get those guys out. Then if we get them out, get a very good sporting director and get us a very good coach to start with. Then we'll even know. how many players we need to sign. I don't know if you understand what I'm
You
saying.
could argue, actually, Jude, when you say they're already planning, most likely to reduce the number of sporting directors we have because of
Of
that guy
course.
they
Yeah.
hired from Liverpool. What's
Yes.
his name? So they might
Uh,
have a plan in place to do that. And the
They
fact
have
that
to
they
do that,
say,
coach. They
and
have to.
I mean,
that was
I'm just
always
thinking,
the plan. Yeah.
I hope they do, but I
These
believe
guys,
it's a
their
possibility.
position's untenable now.
Bobby,
You,
no,
ha-
here's the
how
thing.
can you sack Rosinia and leave them? It doesn't make sense. They are
Um,
responsible.
because
They have to have
maybe
accountability here.
do you have to sack all of them at the same time, Bobby? It will create
Yes.
more chaos.
If you have somebody there in place, as you say, I know who you're talking about. I think it's Paola or something.
I
Paola
forgot it.
some.
I
Fellas.
don't
Yeah,
remember his name.
Fallow or something. Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Fallow.
If
I don't
Oh
remember
if
his name. But
he's
here's the
Dave
thing.
Fallow.
if he's yeah,
Yeah.
if
What
he's
I
good
wanted to
enough,
add
get
to
rid
the
of
go
them.
ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
If he's good enough, get rid of those clowns. Get rid of them, coach. You can't. There's
Maybe
no
that's what we're
job
gonna
in the
see because
world.
we've been told they will do self reflection and nobody
Yeah,
is exempt from it.
yeah.
That's what followed that. Yeah, nobody is exempt from it, irrespective of your ranking or your rank within within Chelsea. That yeah, if they believe yeah you've been a problem or you've
They're not
underperformed,
gonna
you're
get rid of
gone.
them. They're gonna
Sorry.
stay. They're gonna stay, but they're gonna be going probably to Strasbourg. One of them. Don't forget,
Yeah,
they're still
I
looking
think they
for
will
another
find
club
a
to put.
way. It will be strategic anyway,
It'll be
because I think
strategic
they
way. It will
like
be a
them.
restructure, and that was always the plan. That was always the plan that they said that they're going to do. We needed 3 or 4 sporting directors because we had 26 players turnover in one in season, and 22 in the following season, and I think 16 or something the season after. So for what we did, we needed that many sporting directors. Now going forward, we don't need that. So the plan was always, like you said, they signed that experienced guy from Liverpool, so he's be coming in, and there will be restructuring. So we'll see what happens. Who goes where? I think maybe one will go Strasbourg. They're still looking to buy another club. Don't forget, they want to buy more clubs, so that's why
Yeah, I
they've
think
got more
in
I,
Brazil
resources.
the next one. All right,
I
let's
don't
give those
think
in the
any.
chat the microphone for
I
a bit.
hope
I'll come back to the panel.
I hope that's true because the whoever comes in as a coach has to have a good relationship with the sporting director, not these bunch of clowns that are there having an ego as big as his. That's part of the problem as well. But as you
Why do you
said,
think they
we'll
have
have
an
to
ego,
wait and
Bobby?
see. I think they have an ego with with the players they purchased. I'm not sure those players that they purchased, they actually ran it by the coach as they kept telling us they did.
Come on,
I'm not
that's already
sure.
been
I'm not
said that
sure.
it was run. Even Pochettino,
I
he
think
said that in a
even
recent
Pochettino,
interview.
I think he's debunked that, and I mean it's common sense. I think the only thing that makes sense is that yeah, the coach is not the sole decision maker in terms of what player the club signs.
Of
They
course, you
decide
can't say I want this
together,
guy, get him
and
go. I
Poch
only
did
want this
say
guy.
that. Poch said we've already signed some players before he joined, but every other player we signed after he joined, he was part of the decision, which I've
And
always told people. I think we have all the problems. We shouldn't be focusing on them. You could say, I don't think that happens in any football club these days.
a
Like
lot of noise is
the
being
manager
made.
being the sole decision maker in terms of what players the club sign. It's a collective decision
Of course, the
these
collective.
days.
Aston Villa is in charge. I'm sure of
Who?
that one. Unai Emery is in charge. He makes the decision of which player he wants, which one he doesn't want.
Like what? Name one of those players in
No,
question. Like getting Sancho on loan from Manchester United. Easy decision. They will say you think he will make you better. Get it. He can't just say he wants him and the club will say get it. The club, if the club doesn't want, they'll say nah. I think we're better off going with the other guy.
Aston Villa
I don't
has
see
sporting
where that
directors as
happens these
well.
days. Like Real Madrid, the Galacticos they go for. Do you think it's down to the manager's decision? No. They go get a Galactico with the biggest ego in the whole world and tell you make it work or you're gone.
Pretty much.
They
Yep.
just want that best player in the world. Whether it fits, that player will fit the manager's approach or not. Listen, can we say there are certain things that we talk about here? Again, we need to apply common sense. There's no way in the world that Chelsea would just go sign a player without the manager being aware that they were trying to sign that player and him not saying, yes, I can work with that player and then completing the signing of that player, except if we're talking about a young player that they don't plan to integrate immediately, which is more of that sort of, you could say, situation where they sign players, send them out on loan. If he works out, then yeah, they ask our current manager, do you think he can work that player? Work with that player, so to speak. They don't. I don't think. Come on, can we just speak
Well, it's been
sensibly here?
debunked by now. Even Pochettino said it. I mean, it's common sense. I don't know why we keep bringing that up because a manager has to have a say uh, in what players they look at and who they choose. Yes, of course, they all work together. You know, if
Now,
they
why
can't get
why not
one,
Unai Emery say why not Unai Emery come for Cole Palmer? Because he wants him, or it's not that simple. It
it's
has
not very
to be a
simple. No,
collective decision. Either when it gets to the money to be paid, when it's time to pay for the player, the club will say, okay, we can afford him. It doesn't. The manager doesn't. I don't see a world where the manager makes the sole decision of what player a club signs. That's. Let me just say this. I don't work for the club. It's my opinion. Chances are, Jude, you're right that Unai Emery signs then all the players that Aston Villa signs. So it's listen, we're in pain. We're all suffering, but I'm not gonna let that, you can say, get to the way you can say, get to the way I operate in terms of trying to see things objectively. Even when my emotions push me to like lose it and say some nonsense, I still find that, you can say, that space to still see things objectively. I might not sometimes maybe if I think when I think I'm still speaking objectively, I could be saying some nonsense. It's a possibility. I'm not perfect. I don't work for the club, but there are things that I usually don't subscribe to, like the manager making the sole decision in terms of the players they sign. I
well,
don't
like we
know. The
said,
manager might
like,
suggest to the club to look at that player, and the club will look at it. Okay, we can afford it, and that we think it will work. But I don't see. Come on. And I've heard people talk about how hire a
Yeah,
manager,
that's
give the
that's what we are
manager the.
saying, coach. It's the same thing we are saying. When nobody's saying the manager is sign, no, they have to. If, at least the manager might suggest it, and they will reach an agreement. But it's not like they bring in a player to force on the manager that the manager doesn't want. Just like the way Abramovich forced Shevchenko on Mourinho when Mourinho told him he doesn't need Shevchenko, and then
Shevchenko, even Lukaku was literally, you could say, if you look at it, Lukaku was basically forced on Thomas Tuchel. You want
yes,
me to
that
break
that's
that
true.
down for you?
That's
I
true.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because Thomas Tuchel, if you knew him from his days at Mainz, Borussia Dortmund, PSG, hardly ever uses a traditional number nine. Even when he had Cavani, and who else does he have? He had again at PSG. You know how they played and the players he preferred having on the pitch. So even our current owners, they just, yeah, they maybe if you suggest a player, they'll look at numbers and say we don't think it works, but it just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying you said that. A lot of fans speak as if they just go, you can say, sign certain players and then impose it on the manager. They wouldn't have gone through with the signing of Garnacho had what's his name, Enzo Maresca, not said, yeah, I can make it work. I don't see a world where that happened.
I think,
well, he
Happens.
said in an interview, he spoke to him on the phone for like half an hour.
Exactly. If he
I
didn't want
think,
him, they could have
where
told them, don't sign him.
we talk of Garnacho not just because of Garnacho per se, but because in a world where you're looking to upgrade and you downgrade, that goes to show that there is a huge deficiency in the planning capability of the sporting directors. Look, we are where we are, as you said. My concern is, are we even capable of selecting the right manager? People are talking a lot about Xavi Alonso. I don't know. Xavi Alonso is a system manager. This is the Premier League. People suss you out very easily. And if you play a system, it's very easy for them to suss out your system. I don't know. I really don't know. This is the problem.
Who would you
The
rather, Bobby?
We need somebody who is Premier League savvy, but then you also need somebody who's a winner. I don't know if Iraola or Marco Silva are capable of being winners. Their track record doesn't show that. But then, they were with mid-table teams. But then we all saw what happened with Thomas Frank when he left a mid-table team and went to a somewhat bigger team. Look, he fell flat on his
Tottenham,
face.
yeah.
So,
I think
you
they
know,
would have been better off keeping Frank. It was a
Signing those
huge
two
mistake.
guys, signing those two guys mean that we are not learning anything. If we sign Iraola, we
well,
sign Marco
Marco
Silva.
Silva.
Yeah, we
We're
are
Well,
not
we
going
are
this
to
is
we are
sign
it.
too
him.
much in
We're
a
not
shit
signing
for those kind
Silva.
of
This
coaches.
is it. Chelsea,
Yeah.
even a Diego Simone, I think he's become too institutionalized with La Liga to be able to come into the Premier League and really make a difference. I'm just confused, to be brutally honest. I don't
I
know who
never
to
believed
turn to.
Simeone's story because I
Yeah.
believe with the way these Chelsea owners operate, Simeone is too big to work under them.
Can I tell you
Well,
something? And Chelsea fans will hate Simeone after 1 year.
well,
After
exactly.
10 games.
After you know why?
Yeah. He's very
Can I
strong-headed.
break it down to you? If you
Yeah.
think Antonio Conte played Boko Haram football against Manchester City, that game, that after that game, you could argue it was that game that infuriated Abramovich so much that he lost his game. He lost his job. If Ateta plays Haram football, Simone plays Boko Haram football.
Not
No
just that,
kidding.
coach. His persona, if the crowd or anyone, I've seen him at Atletico Madrid fans trying to boo. He went crazy at them. No chance. Like, can you imagine if he comes?
It's money isn't gonna work at Chelsea.
No, he's too
Maybe
hot-headed.
you're right. Maybe he'd fall out with the hierarchy because of his personality. But I don't think Simone will work at Chelsea. He'll probably do well. But Chelsea fans
No,
were complaining. I think even Brother Bobby was one of them. That
Maresca, yeah.
Maresca was playing boring football. Whereas Maresca knew we have issues. He had to almost always employ a cautious approach, a controlled approach, which means nothing transitional. But if we get the chance, we hit you on the break, we score two. We were good on the counter, but we don't take too much risks.
Correct, yeah.
It was almost control. And that did conduce our deficiencies, or maybe if you prefer, that did mask our deficiencies.
Well, come
At this
summer,
point, we need
they have to
results.
they have to get rid of those deficiencies, which are the playing personnel, and they have to look for a coach that is a winning coach. I'm just confused.
Yep.
Nagelsmann, if he will come back, I have no idea. Enrique, forget it. Apart from those two, people are talking of some guy, some German guy that's with, is it Bilbao or whatever? I mean,
Look,
I,
Bobby,
I,
there will be a lot available, but they
there's
have to
not
be
a lot
patient in the
available.
World Cup. They will be
Here's one
available.
thing. Well, here's one thing you have to bear in mind. Go ahead,
Honestly,
Dante.
we
Sorry,
we
sorry for
can't be
cutting you off. Go
patient.
ahead,
We
guys.
need to do this before the World Cup because this manager will be looking
Yeah,
at
we
the
need to
World
start
Cup
planning.
for
Yeah.
players.
Yeah, we
We
need to
can't
start
wait
Yeah,
till
planning
after
ahead.
the World
I
Cup.
prefer they take their time, and if the guys at the World Cup,
No,
Because
they've got
they
because you
stay
will
on.
time.
see a lot of players will emerge
They
during the
need to
World Cup.
start now.
Here's Tim
He
Bobby.
needs
They've
to be
started
in the
already.
system
They've already
by
started,
the
but you
beginning
can't do
of the
anything.
summer.
If it's a coach they really want and he's going to the World Cup, but he's finishing after,
You can't
which there's
even
a
make
lot
it
of them.
public. Even the coach himself will ask you not to mention his name right now to not cause
Of course.
problems with him and his employers. And you've heard, Bobby, that there are other names that aren't being mentioned now. And you could argue maybe for
Which
just
other
security
names?
reasons. Some of them might, like as Dante said, might be going to the World Cup
They can't be
and wouldn't
mentioned
want
yet.
to. Yeah, exactly. So we've been there before. Enzo Maresca wasn't one of the first names mentioned before we hired him.
No, he
No.
wasn't even mentioned. It was just about when he was
Exactly.
hired. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was
would say
Keenan
he was announced.
McNary
He
and
was like fifth
others.
on the list.
Yeah.
Right at the end, they put him like really on the outside. But
Yeah.
yeah, he came in very late. Yep.
So let me catch up what we have on the side. I'll come back so we can continue the conversation. Yes, we would have been all right All we need is Reese. Everything start failing once he got injured. The players have not. Okay, what's Chelsea players? Okay, I'm struggling to piece that together, but I apologize. I didn't mean to skip your comment, but I just couldn't quite get what you were trying to say there. You need players in every. I didn't say every position. I think. Can I say this? If what's come to us, if we still have issues with UEFA, we could just sign two centre backs and do well next season. But we need more on the left hand side. We need maybe one winger for left hand side, and then three players. Even one.
There will be
One.
money,
It
coach.
depends.
This
Exactly. Sorry.
this notion that there won't be money is wrong because there will be money
I'm just
because
saying. I'm not too sure, but they've been telling us that we're going to have money to spend. That will be all right. But I think we probably would need to move on players.
well, no, from outgoings, there's a list that was on X. I'll try to get up. Just from selling sort of the dead weight players, and this is below market value, not selling them for much at all. We can still make up to 250 to 300 million by selling some of these players. So you're gonna have money. You're gonna have money. Money won't be a problem. It's who you're gonna get and how you're gonna get those players.
Which makes
It's
me believe that they
and how
definitely
they spend it.
Jackson's situation has, you could say, essentially, automatically, you could say, driven him into that list, a bucket of players that will be sold in the summer. I think they will sell him
yeah. Even
if
if you get
if they
40 for
find,
him,
or you could say, a club that
whatever.
wants to buy him on a permanent.
Yeah.
I think the lap should be thrown out and Jackson be brought back. To me, though.
Would Jackson want to come back? I don't see that happening. I think they would. They wouldn't mind keeping the lab.
No,
I
he liked a tweet recently when somebody said it trended like when he said you don't know you don't know what you have until you lose it. He sounded like he was a prime drug by anyway, but then I learned that they said he doesn't mind coming back. That was before this guy that was fired reached out to him. So we don't know what the situation will be.
That's just a rumor. Yeah, that's
Okay.
we can't go by that. But I know what you're saying, what you're saying, Miss Oli. But that's just yeah. You can say sorry. It doesn't matter. It might be too late anyway. Doesn't matter, to
It
be
might be
honest.
too late. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I've heard a lot about the possibility of Jackson playing for Chelsea again. I'm not sure what to believe.
But even so, let's not forget Jackson. People keep wanting Jackson back, but when Jackson is here, most people wanted Jackson out. So
No, I think
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
something
Most Chelsea
better, but
fans
who is that
wanted
something
him
better?
out. Yeah.
But I think it's better than the lap to me though.
the lap hasn't really had a proper go at it yet, properly. Are
And
you
he may never
forgetting
have that
Jackson
goal.
played 18 games in a row or something, whatever
He
it was,
might not.
where he didn't score or do nothing?
Mhm.
I think that's what I
But I
mean. The
think
lap
it'd be
hasn't had
unfair
that
to just
time.
conclude. Yeah, I think it'd be unfair to just conclude, given the ratio of games he's played to the goals he's scored or assists he's had, to say no. I think actually his numbers look good. If you're going by how many minutes he's played every time he's gotten opportunities. He's always come off the bench playing 15 minutes here and there, and still I
Okay.
think he in
No,
one game he got hat trick of assists. He has one Champions League goal, and it's not bad actually if you break it down. The ratio
okay.
of the goals and assists he has right now to the number of minutes he's played, it's not bad. But eye test is important. I
Of
think
course.
Yeah,
people
eye
want a
test. Yeah,
lot
eye test.
more.
What I'm using, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
eye test is what
people
I'm
want a
using.
lot more from
Yeah.
him, but I think they're not judging him objectively because he's been sick, he's had injuries, and you can say the change of managerial change, in my opinion, is a factor a lot of people don't consider because the way we play is also a factor. I think Delap is a good player. He might not, you could say, realize his dreams of becoming one of, you could say, an established striker at Chelsea. It could. Chances are it happens. It will happen for him somewhere else. I think he probably will leave Chelsea. I think he will
Well,
leave
even
Chelsea.
if
It
he stays, we
happen.
need that
It
depth
will happen
anyway.
actually as soon as the summer.
We
But
need
go
that
ahead.
depth, coach. Anyway, you need to have that. Bobby keeps
But
talking
he's
about
not that
having
sort
that
of player
third
you can
striker
keep
as
on.
well.
You don't. He's not sort of player that will be content with, you can say, playing second fiddle to anybody.
Yeah, but I think he knows he hasn't done well enough. So he'll be in the camp. Is he going to stay and try to prove himself, or is he going to take the easy road and maybe move on somewhere else? We'll wait and see which one happens. But
I think he's gonna build, which for me the best option for him would be to build
well, for us
because
it works
he's
either
not
way.
even a
So that just means
rotational
we
player
bring another
at
one
this
in.
point.
Well, actually, we got a mega coming in. Let's not forget we got a mega
Yeah,
coming in.
exactly. So I think he's gonna build.
Yeah.
And given, you could argue, given the sort of managers we're looking at, Emega is more suitable.
Well, hopefully Bobby will like him. He's 6'5", 6'6". Sorry, 6'6", Bobby.
All right, let's see. Vic says, yeah, the board needs a harsh reality, and that's drastic. I think they're seeing one now for Igbali to come out and say openly that, yeah, we're gonna look to sign experienced players. We've been signing young players, but it hasn't really worked. They've achieved something, 2 trophies. Again, we need to give them credit for that. But then again, there's been a lot of mistakes, and I think it's been quite clear to them now they have to change things. And that's why he had to say it openly. And I think they're serious. I don't think he'd say it if they cannot do it or if they don't mean it. I think they would do it.
Coach,
They,
just let me add something. So, because I see a lot of people on X saying, the sporting directors, Igbali, they were at the game, like the sporting directors. They don't care if we lose. They don't care if we're not doing well. They don't absolutely. Did you see how hurt those guys were today? The way what was happening. Do you think these guys don't care? They don't feel the
They
same. They
could go
love the
drink
club.
sniper for they could go drink sniper for all I care. Who cares about how they feel?
Well, I'm just saying they are human and they do suffer as well. Do you think they're happy? Because I see people saying, "Oh, that they don't care, they don't have emotions, they don't
no,
care if
I
we're
think
losing."
that's
No,
a
no,
lie.
they can't
You
be happy
listen.
because
I think I
They
think
don't care
saying
about the
they
club.
don't care.
It shows them as
I
failure,
think
so they can't
saying
be happy
let's
about
be
that.
on. Go ahead, Jude. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
They can't be happy not because they care much about what we feel. It's because it portrays them as failures. That's why they can't be happy.
Yeah,
No,
because
no.
they're
See,
losing
that's where
money
you're
too.
wrong. That's where you're
I
thinking
think
wrong.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not. I have no sympathy for them. First of all, I have no sympathy. They're very rich. That it, uh, that yeah. And no need to go to
Don't
that.
worry about money, coach. It's not about
Yeah,
money.
but here's the thing. They don't care. Maybe sometimes again, that saying that they don't care whether we lose or win, I think that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. I think that's something that people usually say in the moment whenever things go bad.
Yeah, yeah. Because they
Yeah,
had
I
him up
think that,
on.
and we all know it's a lie. How are they going to make money if we keep losing?
No, but people are
So
saying they don't care about the
maybe the
club.
harsh reality that Vic talked about, maybe that's what where we are right now, because yeah, we have already, you could say, we have a very you could say, how do I phrase that? We have a financial situation that we needed to qualify for Champions League football, to not for things to subside a bit, for lack of a more specific language, or more accurate language there. So with that Champions League football, I think that broadens the issue. So
You
I
know
don't
why
think it
it
makes
doesn't
sense.
that much?
I get it when people are angry, they start saying, you say they don't care, they don't want to win anything. But I don't want to get into that because I'm going to start speaking like I smoked something.
Yeah, no, but it's just like people they are humans. They do love the club. They attend games and they want to succeed. They want to succeed. And you can see they're passionate about the club and what they're doing. And if it's not working, if you saw them today, they were absolutely destroyed the way they looked. Yes, they were not happy at all. People are just saying they don't care. It's just about money for them. They don't care if we lose. They don't care about the club. Well, yes, they do, because they put their heart and soul every day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. working, putting all the effort into the club. And yes, they become attached to the club. And they've said it many times. They love the club. So people need to, really chill, because there's some photos going around of them today, how they were at the game, just saying that nonsense like that they don't care, they don't bleed blue, they don't care about the club. Igbali, these, they don't care about the club, they don't go to games, they're pretty much at every game. They attend at every game pretty much. And especially Igbali and the owners, they try to make every single game as much as they can. They attend games, which a lot of owners don't even come to games at all. So they are invested in the club. I don't know why people are saying they're not invested in the
No,
club. They
they
are
love the
invested.
club. It's
They
just that
want
they
it
are
to
showing it in
succeed.
the
They want
wrong
it to
way.
make it, and
They are
it
No,
showing
hurts
their
them.
love in
It's
the
what's
wrong way.
happening at the moment as well. You think it doesn't hurt them?
yeah, go ahead, Jude.
No, I'm saying that they are showing the love in the wrong way, and one of the reasons why I know it will really pain them more is because it's really shown that they are failing on their project when it looked like they were making progress, and then they had a nosedive, you know. So it's not a good thing on their image.
Of course.
They also have investors who invested into the project with them, the investors who will be asking questions. So
Yeah, but you're
all
just
these
thinking
things
about
start up.
money, Mesolo. That's where you're putting. You're thinking just money wise. You're not thinking about them actually liking the club or loving the club or actually invested in the club. You're talking
That's what
about
I'm
money
saying.
wise
That's what I'm
only.
saying, that their love, they are showing their love in the wrong way. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the decision is all theirs, right? But everybody was saying it then that they will be genius if this their plan can actually work. But for me, I think they made a mistake buying Chelsea. This model they're doing, if they had invested it in Bradford, they would look like a genius. Or they invested it in Brighton, it will have worked for them. But it's not good for a club of Chelsea status. That's what I feel.
What's the difference? What's the difference between the Chelsea model and the PSG model?
The difference is that the PSG was running the something similar to the Roman era, which Man City confessed they copied from us in the Roman era. That's what PSG is doing. But at some point,
PSG can make legal payments, coach.
PSG
That's
took
fine.
it too far.
Hold on, Dante, hold
Yeah,
on.
PSG took it too far by just signing some big names that couldn't really gel together. Then that's why everything has a limit. Then they had to reassess and let those players go. But then they now put together young classic players. You understand? And then
Yes.
they never had a mediocre manager. Their lowest manager was Pochettino. That's their worst. But so we have been signing ridiculous managers, managers that shouldn't even be affiliated to Chelsea. That's what we've been signing. So they've been going for one of the best in terms of managerial position, and it's worked for them.
You know what, coach? It's very sad. The Chelsea situation is a cocktail of various things. The British government cannot be absolved from the mess they've created on that club. The Football Association cannot be absolved from the mess created on that club. But that notwithstanding, it's not really about whoever bought the club and so on and so forth. Well, it is, but it isn't. The fact is that these people came in with whatever financial trickery they had up their sleeves. They had a system that was beginning to work. They brought it right up to last summer, where they were prime position to be
Yeah,
able to go to the next level. And it
yeah.
was the implosion at the board level last summer that has brought us all the way back. And we don't know how far back this has thrown us until the summer comes around. I'm not convinced there's a manager out there that's capable of doing this job to the capacity that it needs to be done. I think we had that manager in Maresca. They've dropped that ball, and I don't know who else they're looking at. I
There's
really
no other
don't,
Marescas out
because,
there, Bobby.
well, that's what you say. Time will tell. I don't
No, because
know
he was
if
a
they're going
championship
to.
coach and an assistant coach. He was no one,
I,
basically.
I, I don't know if they're going to be able to select the playing personnel with the choices that this group of sporting directors have already made. I think it is imperative that they leave. And somebody, like you're saying, this guy from Liverpool, I like Christopher Vivell because he brought in a lot of quality. Vivell was, people forget, he was quite instrumental in the whole kind of Esteval Williams and Kunku. I don't know about
Yeah, but
João Pedro, but he played a
Hold on,
part in
Dante.
some of our
Go ahead, Bobby. Go
successful
ahead.
So he played a big part in some of our successful purchases. And to be fair, what's the name of that guy? The coach from Man City. What's his name? Oh gosh, the guy
Maresca.
that brought in no, the guy that brought in Cole Palmer, Lavia,
Shields.
and Delap. Um,
No Shields.
no, the coach.
Oh, the coach.
Pochettino.
Yeah, no. We have some coach that he came from Man City.
That
Not
signed Cole Palmer
not
for
Lawrence,
us.
not
The
Lawrence
Yes, I
former
know.
Stewart.
goalkeeper.
He was involved with the Cole Palmer dealings and so on.
A
Not
coach.
Lawrence Stewart. Yeah.
A
Saltao, that's
coach
Saltao guy.
or who's
He's
probably talking about?
he's one of the coaching staff that
Oh,
he's
Caballero.
no or is he one of the sporting directors? He
I think
brought
one
in
of the
people
sporting
like
Yeah,
Cole
Joe
directors.
Shields.
Palmer,
Yes, Joe Shields. Yes,
Joe
he's the
Joe
one.
Shields.
Shields,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now I would keep Joe Shields because he's very good at the scouting aspect. You know, he's brought in like Whisper Richards and so on. But definitely Winston Lee and Stewart need to go. We
But
need
how,
somebody.
how do you know Winston and Stewart were not part of that? They were part of that to get decision together, Bobby.
No, well, somewhere along the line, they've made some catastrophic player selection decisions. And if they were all in it together, then they all have to go. I'm just trying to go along with this idea that they're going to disperse them and bring in somebody else that's going to sort of be like a head
Well, it's not going
and
to be
so
Joe
on. That's
Shields. One director gets his player, the other director gets his. It doesn't work like that. They work as a
I think they
collective.
all agreed, yeah.
They're not.
But
It's
here's
not
well,
going to.
why
then
Dante. I can understand why Joe Shield gets that credit because he had worked with Cole Palmer already, and it would be
Yes.
him that suggested, okay, let's look at them. I
yeah,
think it makes sense to agree, but we don't work
he
for the
did
club. We can only speculate.
he did a lot of scouting, and you need scouts. That's for sure. You have to have scouts as well as
Go ahead,
sporting
Bobby.
We've
directors
got
to carry out the
26
deal.
scouts, Bobby.
I no, who said you got 26 scouts? I'm talking of one. I don't know the others. I think.
Chelsea FC has 26 scouts on the books.
Oh, well, that's that's beyond astonishing.
No, it's not every
You
club.
know,
All the
No,
big
yeah,
clubs have it.
that's fine. But go ahead with what you were saying, Bobby.
I think, we've got to that point where I've almost forgotten my trend of thought, but we have got to that point where these changes in terms of the selection of our playing personnel, in terms of the selection of the coach is so important to me, is so important to me. I feel nervous about this. Oh, let's wait for him to finish the World Cup. Then after the World Cup, oh, I didn't have enough time pre-season. And oh, I've only just got here. Now I needed more time to get to know the players. And then he's getting to know the players during the season. And then we get to December and he doesn't know this player has to have this amount of rest because he's injury prone. I don't want that anymore. I want to see a coach in place at the beginning of summer, a coach in place doing all the background work when we are off season. That's what we
There'll be no
need
players
right
available
now.
anyway. Most of them will.
Doesn't matter. You do your background work when the back. You think the players that are purchased just in the summer? The players that a lot of players that are purchased in summer, the purchase process has already started. So, there's no time for all this waiting for this, waiting for that. Chelsea need to be proactive now. And as
So,
for somebody
Bobby,
talking about,
so if you had the choice of the coaches available now, like with the ones that have been mentioned, or much better, but after the World Cup, you wouldn't wait for a one that's like a proper, like you were saying,
well,
a really good manager.
if they are after anybody that's much better after the World Cup, then they need to start now to be doing things in the background to ensure that person. Because if you're going to
Of
wait
course, yeah.
around till then, you better make sure you get your man. Because if you wait around till then and you don't get your man, then what do you do?
Well,
You've wasted all
that's the
this
trick. That's
time.
the problem. You can't do anything. They can't even mention their name till that happens because yeah,
Well, things can be done in
Some
the
of
background.
Bobby. Let's assume they're considering Thomas Tuchel. I'm not saying they are.
I hope they are.
They're
I
not
would
gonna.
rather
You're not
see
gonna
him.
know. I'm just saying you're not gonna know.
you're not gonna know. Contractually, they're not allowed to.
Yeah. because that will create a serious issue for him. It might lead to actually England
I
saying,
think
you
he's
know
sued.
what, Bill, now.
Yep.
Yeah, just leave now. Or Nagelsmann or any person that's coaching in the national team. I think usually you don't hear about that until, excuse me, the competition is over. So let me just catch up with a few of what we have here. We're going to look at what the numbers tell us in that game. I don't want to dwell on. I don't want to even pay attention to the numbers that much, and I don't want to say, yeah, we were just unlucky. It was embarrassing. It was a soulless performance, in my opinion, irrespective of the fact we hit woodwork. João Pedro scored in what could be the end up becoming the goal of the season. In all the chances we had on the day, it just doesn't matter because we let them take the lead in the first place, and we had zero shots by the time. I don't know how many the SG we had before by the time they scored 3 goals. Big up to you too. Based on our next manager pick, I may watch Coventry instead. All right, but honestly, I feel Marco Silva will be our manager. He is the only coach I can work with what he has done as at Fulham. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this about Marco Silva. I'd rather Iraola over Marco Silva, and here's my reason. Dante, I know you've heard me talk about that before. Silva has worked at clubs where he had, you could say, good enough tools to break through that elite ceiling to prove that he can become an elite manager. He didn't do that. I could be wrong, but
Exactly.
this is just my opinion.
And that's what
At
I told you
Everton, I
about. Yeah.
remember Everton spending tons of money signing players for him, lots of good players at the time.
Yeah.
I think it was him that Everton sacked him and hired Ancelotti, right?
Correct. Yes. Something like that. Yeah.
So that I followed him long enough to feel like, for me, my belief is that I don't think he has what it takes from a
No.
tactical perspective to really get to that level. Iraola, for me, in my opinion, over him, I get it, his approach. And I heard the reason why Iraola approaches the game like that he's from, what's his name, BSS School of Football, how
Don't
else do I
forget,
phrase.
Iraola also played with Pep Guardiola. He's played under all the biggest managers as well. He actually played,
But his
for
approach
Spain.
is high octane.
Yeah, it's high octane. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
And the high octane, for
yeah.
me, that scares the heck out of me because our players are made of glass.
No, we don't have that type of squad. We have a squad made for possession football. That's for sure. Yeah, that's why it
Exactly.
suited
So
Maresca
that
so well.
which means I think he's going to create a lot of issues. Which for me means I think I'd say the leading candidates right now would be Alonso top, Marco Silva second, maybe other. I don't know. Let me just go with Alonso probably top in the list. Other names we don't know. I'm not just going to say it's just the three of them because Alonso, I get it. He
Yeah.
plays with a back three, but it's still possession heavy
Trust me, there'll be a
and
lot more
control.
managers they're looking at. There's a lot of managers. Like I said, unfortunately, the World Cup, unfortunately, that's going to really set us back because it might be one of those managers that will have to come in a little bit later. But hey, we've got a lot of the sporting directors there that can do their job, even if the manager's not there at the start. Like I said, the players won't be around anyway because it's a longer off season because of the World Cup, so they won't be around anyway. So it's not going to make much of a difference, to be honest, because they wouldn't come in early anyway, and there won't be much to do anyway. So it's gonna hamper us a little bit because it will be a late start anyway, as in a shorter preseason, to be honest. So yeah, unfortunately, that's not the best ideal because the World Cup's right now, unfortunately. But hey, it is what it is. We have to deal with it.
Yeah, we have to. We catch up. We just breeze through the numbers, and I think it's important we talk about the sort of players we should be looking to sign in. And if you have any player in mind, stated in the live chat, and we will read it and discuss the player. Hopefully, we know them. I think PSG to Luis Enrique. I think he picks who he wants and ships. The ones he doesn't want to Man City or Juventus or Real Madrid. I don't think so. He will pick. The club
No,
will still discuss whether they can afford it or not. But the coach
they've got
has
some
every
very
right
powerful
to
sporting director there
yeah,
and directors
the,
at
yeah,
PSG.
exactly. Yeah, this the coach has the manager has every right to say this player I don't want them. I don't want this player.
Yeah.
That the players that already, yeah, he can
Well,
say, I don't
especially
want
now
this
that
player.
he's actually won. Up until he won, yeah, and he's probably got a bit more power, a bit more say now, but he didn't before. I can guarantee you that. There is some Leonardo
He
and
had
what's
to
the other
work with
one?
what he had. It was later that
Yeah.
he started winning that he said, I don't want Mbappe. And Mbappe already, yeah, they don't, you said not, he didn't necessarily say he didn't want him,
I know Mbappe
but
was
I
going
think you could
anyway.
argue he
Yeah,
was the
Mbappe
reason
was.
why they didn't push to keep him even further.
Yeah, that
Because
was
they
already
could,
known. Yeah.
yeah, that was already known that he was going to leave, but it was easy to leave. There was a video of him lecturing him. I can't quite remember, but let me catch up. Let me catch up here. The coach should tell the club the profile of players he's looking for. That happens, yeah, and the club provides the option. Stop repeating incorrect info. Have you said anything different? We did talk about how the coach could be the one that recommends a player, or the coach said we need a CB. The club can say how about this player, that player, and the other player. Have you said anything different, or you just like attacking coach?
He's on attack now. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. That's his
He's just
spin.
riding this wave
All
while
right,
he
let's
can,
see.
mate.
What else we have here. The club is a mess. Yet you're trying to. Oh, Tante, go ahead. Let me take care of
Look at me. Look at me. What's he saying there? The club is a mess, yet you're trying to make sense of the mess. It's a mess. Some people need to be fired. It's yeah, no, I agree. There is a mess, but it's not the end of the world. It's not as bad as some people are making it out to be. Like, oh my God, we're gonna get relegated next season. We're gonna go bankrupt next season. Blah 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 blah. We have no money. Who are we gonna sign? No one's gonna sign for Chelsea. No one's gonna want to sign for Chelsea. Well, yeah, players will still sign for Chelsea, and we'll still get good players because we are still a big club, and we are still attractive. And especially if they tweak the model, like they say they will, well then we'll be able to get some more experienced players in as well. So look, I think next season's a big season, but yes, like Mesola said earlier, the next manager is massive. They have to really, that's why should really take their time. And if it's a manager that's hopefully an experienced manager, and if he's at the World Cup, but he can come after, well, I think we should wait for him because you got to get that decision right. There's no point, Rafinha, we unfortunately Maresca left us a bit, it was not expected. So they needed to find someone quick. And Rafinha was with the club for 18 months. They knew him inside out. He knew the model. He knew the systems. So they just took a risk on him because there was no one else really available, to be honest, at that time of the season. So yeah, it didn't work out. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
But I think it's
We move
important to
on.
mention. Dante, I think it's important to mention. Had it not been for like you said, the connection with the with the Spartan directors, it would not have been Rosinia.
No, it wouldn't have. No, no.
It wouldn't have. So
No,
it was
that it
stamped.
just made it
So
easy, coach,
yeah,
because he was
yeah.
in-house already, basically. He was already on the playbooks, on the books. He had his management squad with him, his assistants, and they were all able to come together as well. So, and we needed someone quick because, like I said, they didn't have time. Maresca left like basically, without warning. They basically left really quickly, and at that time of the season, there was no one available really to bring in. They had to make a decision: do we risk it on Rafinha, or what are we gonna do? Are we gonna look? There's no one really available, so they probably did a really nice contract for Rafinha. We know they did, and
They
it
had they
wasn't
had
that.
a very good exit clause because
They
they
had a
knew it
very
was a
good
huge
exit clause
risk.
just in case
Yeah.
it doesn't work out. And yeah, look, in the end, they took the risk. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. But I don't know if another manager came in, could have done too much better, to be honest. I think, there was a lot of.
I'd say yes. I'd say yes, and I've argued why. I think Rosinia, as much as I think he's a good manager, he was the architect of his own downfall as Chelsea manager. He was just, you can say, and
Yeah, that
I've
as
talked
well, but
about
coach,
this. Yeah, let
still
me
the same
break down how
players.
that happened. He had an excellent start to life as Chelsea
11
manager.
games
We
or
all
something
know
about,
that.
yeah, first
He
10 and
was
11
even
games.
nominated for the manager of the month.
Correct. Yep.
And you could argue, because to me, the way he speaks is reflective of the fact that he's an arrogant individual. Maybe that got into his head. And my theory is
Mm.
that he probably thought about it and went, you know what, if I was able to beat PSG with an inferior squad to Chelsea squad, Strasbourg, I can beat them my own way. And we knew he was going to drop Sanchez, and we knew how much of a risk that was. We knew. We thought, okay, he started well, and it actually Dante, we were able to observe that he actually wasn't implementing too much, and at the same time, at the start, he was a bit pragmatic than usual, than I had
Yeah,
expected
yeah,
him
yeah.
to be. Because my biggest concern about him was that I thought he didn't know how to be pragmatic, which was why some of the games that I thought, one game that I thought they were going to beat PSG, I think that one ended in a draw. And because he wanted to keep going, even had he made some defensive changes, even one defensive change, and still had attacking players up front, they could have scored more on the day. But I
Yeah, a
think that
little.
got into his head, and that we've not been able to recover from that that PSG loss. Probably, maybe he lost the dressing room because Sanchez is clearly one of the leaders. I think he might not be the most
Yeah.
vocal, or you said, or the most talked about as a leader in the dressing room. I think I've seen enough to say, yeah, he's probably one in the leadership group, and they didn't like that.
But don't that I still think the players have a big say in this as well because we can't absolve the players because they show they can do it under him. For the first 10, 11 games, did it,
They
especially
actually
yeah,
played with a lot of freedom, had a lot of fun. Were more they played
exactly.
with a lot more freedom, and I liked that actually. Even though I loved Maresca, but go ahead.
And don't I say there's a few, in context, we didn't have, yeah, Garnacho wasn't doing well. He did well, but then Neto went down. Cole Palmer was down. João Pedro was not available. So there was a few things that people players were getting injured. We didn't have the right balance available. So, and I think he still tried to play that style with the players that were available, and they just couldn't do it. Simple as that. So, I think there's a few issues why. I think down to like Bobby said, the squad. Unfortunately, Gittins was not available.
But he didn't help
Garnacho
matters.
wasn't. He wasn't good. So yeah, we didn't have players available really to really do too much, to be honest, to play that style. So yeah, I think the players, the squad building, like I said, we just didn't quite get right. Some of the players, unfortunately, they haven't worked out because of injury, because they're not available because of injury or form or whatever. It just hasn't worked out. Some of the players that we had available. So I think there's more to it than just him. But yeah, after I saw that he lost, I think he probably lost a bit of the dressing room that last game. Definitely he did because from what he said and what we saw that first half when they played. So I think it's a bit of yeah. I think he has what it takes, but he'll probably learn a lot from it. He'll probably be better from it. But it's unfortunate it didn't work out. But I think the players, as you can see now, even with McFarlane,
But that's a huge dent on his resume.
not really, coach. He just
In the sense that the next job he's gonna
coaches like
get,
that
it
always
will
get
be a
another go.
mid-table
He's
team. He will
young.
get a mid-table team. Had he
Yeah, and he'll
done
do very
well
well,
overall
maybe.
at Chelsea, then he will stay at that level. But right now he has to drop to a
Coach,
lower level
look
and
at
then
Potter.
start there again. Yeah.
Look at Potter. He's coaching the Swedish national team at the moment.
And he's taking them to the World Cup.
Exactly. So he's like 20 years younger than Potter or whatever. So I think he'll be fine. I he'll be fine. There's plenty of clubs that will be after him because he's had the
He will learn.
experience.
Like you said, he will learn a lot.
And it's an experience for him because it is an experience that will only help him going forward. Unfortunately, it didn't help us because he didn't work out. But yeah, I don't think he's that bad as people portray him to be because
No,
we
he's
saw
not.
he
No,
got
no,
the
no,
best
he's
out of the
not.
players in that first 10, 11 games. So uh, it's a lot more stuff going on there than just him. He was a little bit part of it, but I think some of the players have really let down, and some of the players' availability and form as well.
Didn't help.
Look at Cole Palmer. I mean, we thought he would have snapped out of this by 10 games ago, but he's looked. I haven't seen the old Cole Palmer for the last 20 plus games, to be honest.
I'm not expecting to see Pochettino's Cole Palmer, but I think he's been in poor form.
not Pochettino's Cole Palmer, but not even a quarter we haven't seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen. So something. I think it has to. It could be his
It's his groin
mindset.
as well,
Really.
trust me, coach. I can tell you that from experience. It's
Sorry.
his groin. It's
His.
hurting him and
Okay.
he's playing through the plane. I can tell, I can just see the way he moves. I experience the same things. You feel amazing one game weekday, but then during the game it starts hurting and you can't do as much as you did. It's simple things. You can't put enough power in the shot, or you can't turn that way, but you still kind of lie to yourself that the pain will go away and you play through it. But that unfortunately doesn't work at that level because anything like that really, and I think, yeah, I think he's actually playing through the pain, to be honest. I can see that because he's way too
Then
good,
the club
way
should
too good.
know.
It's hard.
That's why. That's why he shouldn't go to the World Cup.
It's very hard to know because, like I said, I played
Do you
through
think
it.
he misses the World Cup?
No, he
Yeah,
doesn't
he
miss the
has
World.
to.
He'll be going. 100% he's going. There's no chance he's missing the World Cup.
Well, that would be a stupid decision on Tuchel's part.
But here's the thing,
You're
Bobby.
probably right,
I,
but I think it's a
mhm.
stupid decision. I think Obama needs to sit this one out.
It's hard to prove, Bobby, because you pass your fitness test, you can play.
It's not about proof; it's form. Of
Form
all
as
the
well, but it's
midfielders in
still,
his position, he's the worst. That's
yeah,
just the
but I
reality.
mean, who else are they going to take? It doesn't mean he's not going to go. He still will go. He
What?
might not play as much,
There's
but
Bellingham. There's
yeah, yeah, yeah. But he'll still
I
go.
think
Maybe he snaps
England
out of
have
it by
more of
then.
Bellingham's profile. That is, Bobby. Let me explain this to you. England has
Morgan
more of Bellingham
Rogers.
profiles. Yeah, exactly. Than Palmer.
There's nothing. There's no one
So
like him. And still, yeah.
Palmer is scarce. They don't have England doesn't have too many Palmers, which is why they will still accommodate him and hope that his body is there can make a difference. I think he's gonna go. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go. I think he's gonna go.
Of course he's
Honestly.
going. There's no doubt
Yeah,
unless he
he's
gets another
different.
injury.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. If he was, you could say, if he was like Roger, that is in Morgan Rogers, that is such a, you could say, struggling form, or Jude Bellingham, easy to drop because there are other players who you could say that
Similar,
suits
yeah.
that profile. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Cole Palmer is unique. England doesn't have too many of him.
There is no other Cole Palmer. There's only
There's
one
no
Cole.
other Cole Palmer in the England squad. That's why he's definitely gonna go. And even at that, I think he will still make a difference because he's that sort of player. 10 games crappy. Then the biggest game yeah, again in the competition, he shows up.
You
It
know
takes
what will
and
help?
he's that sort of player that it takes him scoring one goal. Like it will look, it will you will start to think that who did somebody just turn on something in him.
I think it doesn't matter if he scores, coach. I don't think that matters. If it's the
No, I'm just
groin,
saying
like I
he's that sort of
expect,
player that it takes one thing. Just it could be him just dribbling one player and hitting the woodwork. Then he will be the best player on the pitch for the rest of the game. He's that sort of player that sometimes I just look at him. I say, does he? Is something off with his mindset?
well, that is the problem. Even today, he got the ball at feet. He turned around and dribbled past three players in a half turn. Did a full 360. Amazing skill. Got past three players, but that looks amazing and everything, but he can't. The problem is he can't do that all game like he used to, and this is what's holding him back. He's just doing a little flash here and there, showing the old Cole Palmer, but he can't do it consistently because, in my personal opinion, that groin is still bothering him. So I think I think he's just playing through it, and I think it's really affecting it. And it's affecting the team as
Or
well.
maybe pretending he's fine just because he wants to go to the World Cup.
I told you I had the same injury. That was the only injury I had in my career. That is the only one. I pretended for like 2, 3 years with that injury. Yes. Players will never say they're like that. They just won't. They're just too competitive, selfish. There's no chance he will say, especially going to the World Cup, he's not going to miss out on that. He's just not gonna. He's not gonna say anything. He passes uh, he passes the medical test, the fitness test. He plays. He'll be part of it. Unless he can, Tuchel and the assistants can really see it in training. But one thing that will help him, I forgot to mention, is heat. It's going to get hotter. The heat helps in the hotter weather. It helps a lot. In the cold weather, it doesn't help. So because it'll be warmer and it'll be summer basically, the World Cup, the heat will help a lot. That makes a big difference. So to that injury, from what I experienced as well, it makes a
All
big
right.
difference. The heat. Yeah.
All right, let's catch up here. Yeah, I've read that one. Watching, yeah, just go away. Just leave me alone and go to bed. We cannot afford a Simone. Yeah, I don't care that much about Simone. I don't like his football. Ty, nice to see you. Humiliated is an understatement. What else do we have here? Nobody can make me think they care. That is the product they created. That's up to you. I'm not trying to convince you. Convince you. I just made a statement, and Dante made a statement. It's up to you. They have their office at Brighton instead of buying quality players. Maresca want them. They did nothing for it. Here's the thing. I loved Maresca, but I feel betrayed by him. If they care, why didn't they fix it when Maresca asked? I think that's just. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can answer that question. Anyway,
I can
but
answer it,
I'm gonna
mate.
spread to the.
I can answer it.
No need. No need. You cannot convince him. Just leave him. He, Rosinia, will be the next coach of England once Tuchel leaves. I don't think so. Frank Lampard, most likely the next manager of England.
Depends what he does in the Premier League.
Yeah, and again, I think I think he would do well if they sign him players. But I think even if he doesn't do well,
They can't
if it
sign him
comes down
players.
to if it comes down to lack of quality in his squad, I think they will consider that. Frank
They
will
can't sign
get
him
that
players.
job.
It's Coventry, coach. They don't
Eddie
have.
Howe is another man that could get it. I know how they hire English managers. Or if Pep is out of job, they will try to hire him. Yeah. All right, let's look at what the numbers tell us. I really do not want to look at it, but I want us to breeze through it. Go news hunting to see if anything new emerged as the show progressed, then we'll address it. I just want us to look at the stats. For me, because of, yeah, we've been performing badly. For me, we had no business losing this game. I was concerned. I knew it could go either way, but not to the point of us losing. You could say being down 3 goals before trying to come back. Really. Uh, yeah, that was really embarrassing. Yeah, we finished with 2.15 XG, but yeah, how many goals did we score? One. We underperformed our XG. They overperformed their XG. Total shots for them, 6 shots, but they have more, you could argue, decisive shots than us, in my opinion. And I'm not sure why, you know, honestly, I wouldn't mind. I'd play Hato over Kukurea of late. That's just me. But we know in such situations that I think we did talk about
Hmm.
that a lot on
Yeah.
the what's his name, Graham Potter, how managers, when things don't go well, they usually rely on the more experienced players. But I think Hato, even under Rosinho, he looked better than the experienced players, in my opinion. I'm not saying Kukurea is a bad player, and you know I love him, but I want to get your thoughts. Why leave him on the bench?
Yeah, look, play style really suited Hato the way Rossini started playing as well. So that's number one. More space for him, more of a can play that left centre back, or he played that left wing back, left midfield role as well for Rossini quite a lot. So that really helped him. That's one of the players that shone under Rossini was Hato because of that. That was the main reason, I think, and that's why I said some of the other players will not shine in that once he starts, putting his system, his the way he likes to play. Some of the other players will not look that good because it just doesn't suit them. So, and that's exactly what we saw. So we saw Hato shine, and we saw some of the other ones not shine because of the way we were playing, like Neto, except Garnacho. These players just they didn't. Neto was playing really, really well, but then Rafinha came in. He was hot. He's been pretty average for the last 10 games when Rafinha was here. So the last 15 games. So down to the way they're playing as well. So the position they were playing, what they were asked to do. So today, I still would have probably chose Cucurella. Why? Because we did go back to our old sort of possession game that Maresca, applied, and that suits Cucurella a lot more that way. look, besides that mistake, well, not a mistake. Back while the Forest, got around him and got the cross in that first goal. To me, that's more on the defense, as in the central defender. Then that happens in a game, but he only beat him twice the whole game. I mean, you'll take that any day. Getting beaten twice in 90 minutes, well, yeah, you'll take that any day. So he still did all right defensively, but one thing you do notice with Cucurella, I think his legs have slowed down a little bit. You're not seeing those runs forward anymore as much. He's not been able to really replicate that and push forward and then get back in time or vice versa. So I think just end of the season, long season. I think it's getting a bit of a toll on him, or he might have a little niggle. Who knows? But I don't see him doing that as much, especially going back to the old system now. The last 3 games basically. So yeah, look, Cucurella definitely still suits that more because, like I said, defensively he's going to give you still a pretty solid performance. But yeah, his legs are, I think, is a bit of a problem. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think he's probably carrying a little knock as well because you just don't see him making those runs forward anymore. And I see him trying, but then he just, I think he just kind of gives up from what I've seen, and he then gets back into his position. So I don't think that's coaching. I just think that's his legs have let him down a little bit, and it's understandable. Long season, off season, basically playing all the whole off season as well. So yeah, he had a little bit of a break with Hato playing a little bit, but still not enough. I think he struggled to come back after that a few games that he missed. He's really struggled to come back. It looks like it. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say about it. But under the system we're playing now, he definitely suits better than Hato. Hato would be caught out a lot more if he played under this system, in my opinion. I think that's why McFarlane's not playing him.
But McFarlane did say the reason Hato didn't play against Leeds United was because of Tosin's aerial ability, which I thought was the case on the day. But I think I have a better understanding as to why he say he hasn't played. But I think eventually he'll become, probably with the Cucurella plays. Cucurella looks like his head is turned, in my opinion. But yeah, let's hear you, Bobby. If you're still there, your thoughts, Hato, or anything else you want to talk about the game. I want us to move on to go see if anything new emerged as the show progressed. Sorry for keeping you awake. Blue Morning Show will come back soon. Some other people are
What
asking
time is it there,
about
Bobby?
you.
Yeah,
A lot of
it's
people have been asking
nearly
after you, and
3:30.
I told them
Yeah.
you're fine. That I've been seeing your comments, and I think it was Miss Wendy, and I told them those comments were probably you, way of you saying, yeah, you're still here, but the evening shows not easy for you to attend. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Um yeah, I mean I'm listening to what's being said. I take on board a lot of what's been said. There's a lot of value to it. To me, it still comes down to one thing. We've got some very strong decisions to make so far as playing personnel is concerned. And manager, I think the manager is so crucial. Um, I can't state that enough. I think we're all aware of that, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. Yeah, some of you all think that whoever it is, things need to be kept a little bit under the hat because they may be contracted already, which is true.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that they can't make a mistake and they can't fire another manager again so quickly. All this hiring and firing, it's just a reflection of their bad, of their mistakes. Um, I don't know. Chelsea's now become a conundrum. Sorry, and we have to. It's all a wait and see. I've given up on the season. I don't think anything's going to happen till the end of the season. I only hope maybe an FA Cup, but even that, I'm not holding my breath.
You there, coach? Oh, I think he's frozen. Can you hear me, Bobby?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's frozen. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
I tried to turn on the other
There,
mic.
he's back.
I haven't connected it properly. But yeah, Bobby, thank you so much for that. Jude, anything else you want to talk about the game? Let's see if anything new emerged as the show progresses, and we will discuss. If we still have time, we can discuss. Okay, what players should we be looking to sign to make us better? But anything new there? The Keyshawn is in the house. Big up, Keyshawn. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. Keyshawn says, "What did you do to my?" Keyshawn, leave me alone. Go ahead, Jude, if you're there.
Yeah, can you
Looks
hear me
like,
now?
yeah, crystal
Okay.
clear. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Like Bobby, I just said that we need to act very fast. For me, I think getting the coach is the most important thing we should focus on. Because if we start thinking we need center back, we need all this, you'll be surprised. A very good coach might even come and turn Tosin to Prime John Terry. Eh, that can also happen.
You're
So
reaching a bit
I
there.
mean, yeah, it happens.
what's that?
Yeah.
You're reaching a little bit with that
It
one. He's
happens.
already 28. I don't think that's happening.
And then the lap might come and become another
Drogba?
prime top striker. So, but then the coach is the person who will bring the mentality. Although I am not really a fan of I'm not a fan of this former Chelsea Tottenham manager, the Italian guy, what's his name? Antonio Conte. I don't really like his style, but for the fact that this guy is known to get results, I'll take him over Iraola. I'll take him over Marco Silva. I'll take him. I don't even rate those guys. Those guys are okay on their level, but I think they are not Chelsea material. I think we are too much in a deep shit for these guys to come in and salvage
Conte will
anything.
come for one
I
season
didn't know
too,
you
Max.
spoke French.
Do you
You say
see
what?
Conte more than 1, 2 seasons, Max?
Yeah. I don't care. I don't. I'm for now. I'm not talking. I'm not
Yeah,
thinking
it'd be
long
on a
term now.
temporary
I just
basis.
need
Yeah.
somebody who can just revive us from what we are into. Yeah, if Conte is gonna do two seasons, okay. But let somebody revive us. Let Stamford Bridge lighten up again. So then we can now transition from there to somebody who might be like a long term thing. Yeah, Conte looks like he can't even really stay in the club for too long. Even if he tries to, it can't really work for him. Apart from when he was in Juvie, that really worked for him for quite a while. Then this guy Xabi Alonso, I don't really rate him like that because though he did magnificent with Bayern Leverkusen, that was a very tremendous achievement, winning the league unbeaten without too much experience. But my problem with him is I think he has issues with he's always failing with dressing room. He for his pedigree as a player, a Liverpool legend, Champions League winner with Liverpool, a Real Madrid legend, and I think Bayern Munich legend as well. You know, and he still couldn't handle that dressing room in Real Madrid.
Which of the dressing room are you talking about?
Real Madrid, I got fired.
I think he walked, but I don't know. The reports there are conflicting reports. I think he walked. That's my opinion. But go ahead. You could be
Yeah.
right, and I'm wrong.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that if he can't handle those guys, he might not really have what it takes to resurrect us from this deep shit that we are into right now. That's what I'm just thinking. That I don't even know what is Zidane doing. Is he sleeping or what's happening?
Zidane is holding out for the French
Oh no,
national
no,
team,
no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no.
He
We
doesn't
and
play.
I
can't
don't
go
think he'd do well
Zidane.
in the Premier League.
No,
Yeah, most
no.
likely. Though he too doesn't have. I wouldn't see him as very experienced coach because he only coached for 2 years, did very
He'll
well,
never
and then
coach the
went to
Premier
sleep.
League. No, he'll never come here.
No,
Yeah.
he wouldn't do well here. He's a Galacticos whisperer. He
Okay.
had the foundation at Real Madrid around him. It was a sort of seem. He was like when let me say, a grade below when Ancelotti came to Chelsea. Ancelotti had Ray Wilkins, he had Paul Clement, he had all
Okay.
these very powerful Chelsea people around him who really did the groundwork. He Zidane wouldn't have that at Chelsea. He would be exposed. We
Okay.
can't look to him.
Not to mention
Alonso,
he's
maybe.
17 assistants as well.
Then
Ancelotti has 17 assistants.
Yeah,
then
yeah. There you
instead
go.
of us
Uh,
going Marco Silva and all those people,
Yeah.
wow, we can as well try this our former Chelsea staff who now works with. I don't know how the guy ended up in Manchester
Oh,
United.
Holland,
Hold on, yeah,
Steve
yeah,
Holland. I wouldn't
yeah,
say no to him at all
yeah. I'll
if they'd
prefer him
give him
than
a
all those Marco
chance.
Silva. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I would definitely prefer him.
yeah.
And another one is, look, Alonso, fine, but the only thing that concerns me is he has no Chelsea links. Not that that much of a deal breaker, but I'm sick and tired. I don't want another situation where next minute you're looking on social media, oh, Alonso is talking to Liverpool, or Alonso is talking to
That's
to
actually a
Real
serious concern
Madrid.
of mine. And Bobby, we did talk about
Yeah,
that. Him pulling a
I
Maresca
don't
on
want
us.
that. I don't want any of that nonsense. And with somebody so embedded in those teams, it's very possible. It's like Frank Lampard. No matter wherever he goes, if Chelsea really comes knocking on the door, Frank will always listen. So because he has that tie, okay, he's managed here as well as played here.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. But I hear you. Let's see what
But
happens. But
for me, I if Frank was my brother, I would tell him don't listen to
Uh-huh.
Chelsea right now.
I think probably Chelsea would know that it'd be so unfair to like go for him right now. Why didn't they give him the job on a permanent after he was a caretaker manager?
no, I
No,
don't think
he
it's
didn't
worth
have
him
he didn't
now.
get good numbers to deserve the job.
He's still learning his trade in many
Yeah.
ways. Frank
Yeah, he
needs to
didn't get
stay
good
where he
numbers to
is for
deserve
a
the
while.
job. He
I
won
think
maybe only
eventually
one
he will
match or
come
so.
back. Yeah.
He won only one match in 8 or so. Then
But we were already, you can say, headed down south before his arrival. All right, let me catch up with a bit of what we have here. We can talk about players we think we should sign. And Jay here is saying, big up another humiliating loss. Feels like a routine at this club at the moment. I think I agree. We cannot, we can micro analyze matches, but the problems are structural and general. Big up to you two for calling out the S's. And of course, only Bobby you like. Why did I even read your comment? All right. The game was pitiful. It was, I agree, soulless, in my opinion. This is who? Ibro, I'm not sure I understand that. This is beyond rebuilding. I don't think we need to rebuild. I don't think so. If we do anything drastic, I think we're going to suffer even more. It needs to be strategic. Sign two center backs, maybe a 10 or a left wing player, I think we'll be all right. Project Believers, shaking my head. The business people, they claim to know what they are doing. Blueco out. Okay. All right, let's see what else we have here. I'm back now. I'm not sure. Gary said, who's this? He said, okay. But welcome back, Gary. Nice to see you once again. I'm trying to remember. Maybe you changed your name or maybe you're using another ID, but it sounds familiar. But welcome back. Welcome back, Gary. More importantly. Oh, you were here yesterday. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Nice to see you back. Have you back here, Dante? Any player you'd like us to sign? You think, or you could say, what
Yeah.
signings do you think we should aim to make in the summer? And there's a question Jay asked here. I think I wanted us to answer that. He says here, and City bottled the league. No, it's a question. No, not quite. You
Not
can
yet.
say these few games for those two title challengers very tricky because a lot of pressure, and the West Ham game is a very very tricky game for Arsenal. Crystal Palace, a tricky game for Arsenal. Man City also they do have tricky games too. I think what other games do they have?
I'm
So
not
it's
sure.
not it's not that straightforward. Let me just look. Let me look quickly. It's not really not that straightforward. Arsenal could lose against West Ham United. It's a possibility because they have, you can say, they have to also consider their Champions League trophy pursuit, which you could
Even
chances are they
draw,
prioritize. Sorry,
even drawing it,
even
is
drawing, yeah.
yeah. They need to
So
win
let me
every
look at.
game. A draw won't be enough because then if City win, then
So it's really not. It's really not that straightforward. So Manchester City here. Let me check their matches. They have Brentford. Um, Tricky also because that's the sort of side they struggle against them a lot. Crystal Palace, a tricky game too. Then FA Cup, then Bournemouth. You can say they have. You can say they have all tricky games. Bournemouth, they're flying high
Palace,
right now,
no,
and they.
not Palace. They got nothing to play for. No, they're like stuck in no man's land in the middle of the table. They can't make Europe. They can't get.
But does it matter?
It
Really?
does because
I think it's still a tricky game.
their heads are probably already on the beach, making vacation plans, etc.
All right, let me look at Arsenal's game. Where's Arsenal here? Where are they? Where are they? What day did they play? Arsenal, man, they smashed Fulham. It wasn't even close. So let me
That's why
go.
I'm
Their
telling you
matches, they have tricky games too.
those teams that don't really care right now because they're going to finish where they're kind of going to be. They're going to get beaten pretty convincingly by some of these teams.
So, but Arsenal has ball. They have West Ham United who are fighting for relegation,
That's a tougher one, yeah.
and yeah, that's a very very tough one. I think they will smash Burnley, but never
Easy,
said
yeah.
anything can happen. Then they have
But
Crystal
Madueke hat trick
Palace.
in that one.
They have Crystal Palace too. The Crystal Palace, do they have game on hand? But I think they both anything can happen because both teams are playing with a lot of pressure, and that changes a whole lot of stuff. You say, yeah, it makes it a lot more complicated.
And they can't
But
really do.
yeah,
Arsenal can't do what City did today, like when they went behind and showed
they
that
don't have it.
under
They
pressure.
won't risk it.
Yeah, they showed under pressure they can come back and score goals. Where Arsenal, I don't think can do that like that. If they go behind like that, they're not going to do that.
But yeah, they're not gonna risk it. I think I'm just gonna go with that. They don't the cojones to risk that much to get a goal. The FA Cup final will finalize whether we will have the Alonso's of this world or the next Rosinho. Frankly, I will be surprised if Alonso joins us. I will be very shocked. I think he will. I'm gonna say this, and Chelsea is still Chelsea, and we still have a good squad. Even those that you think wouldn't want the Chelsea job, they'd want it, but with conditions. And that's it. And some of them, the condition might be if I'm going to take it, you're going to sign me a defender, two defenders, and one, you can say, a left wing. Two, you can say one left winger and a 10, and the club will say yes.
Well, they've got to sign
So
those players anyway. So
And so the point I'm trying to make here is that I don't believe that Alonso will say no to the Chelsea job, except if he's already waiting for the Liverpool job, which I don't think is the case. And I'm going to explain why. We've talked about this also before. The Liverpool hierarchy, they made a lot of changes. And if you understand football, you'd know that how they've struggled this season. For me, I expected that. We knew that towards the end of the season that they'd pick up form, and they did. But they have defensive issues now, which has exposed them quite a lot during games, unnecessarily, in my opinion. So they know it's not necessarily slots. You can say slot isn't the reason why they're struggling. No, they made a lot of changes, and Mo Salah isn't that Mo Salah.
So
So I'm
they,
not sure
they may
how.
not hire a coach then, and then they may just
Yeah,
sign
yeah.
players.
So this is just me. You can say I'm just looking at it. Looking at it. Kind of from a broader perspective to sense whether maybe Alonso, whether he's waiting for the job. But right now, I don't think he's waiting for the Liverpool job because I don't think they're going to fire him.
coach, also
What's happening to them was expected. But I'm not saying for certain that's the case. That's a chance. He's waiting for them. We don't know. But if he's not waiting for them, I think Chelsea will hire him because he's the most qualified in all. You can say not necessarily the most qualified, um, the most the one that Chelsea fans like the most, the one that pundits have mentioned the most, even Sky Cav, the guy that say that he's on the books of Blueco, right? He mentioned Alonso too. He's the one that said he'd give it to Alonso, and not he didn't even suggest Fabregas because he says his belief is that Fabregas will eventually become Arsenal manager one day.
That was his
So my
personal
question,
opinion, just to add. That was
yeah,
his
that's also
personal.
his personal opinion, but
Yes.
Alonso isn't the most experienced.
We don't know if
But
Alonso really wants to
Fabregas has
come
paid more attention to
either.
Chelsea than Arsenal these days.
Sorry.
Fabregas has paid more attention to what's happening in Chelsea than Arsenal. He's always talking about us. He's always he also recently talked about how grateful he is to Chelsea for making him win Premier League and all that. Trying to show that he has something for the club, like love the club, you know. And then after then his what do they call it? His boss said he's okay to they can release him to join Chelsea if Chelsea is able to meet the condition. You know. And he responded by saying no, he's focused on going to Europe
Of course he
with
is, yeah.
Como.
He wouldn't want to also abandon the project. He's a co-owner, irrespective of whether his percent. You can say his share is zero point 0.5, and I
Yeah.
don't think they would want him to leave either.
Just with the Alonso stuff, one, maybe he doesn't want to join Chelsea, but let's not forget there will be quite a lot of international jobs coming up after the World Cup as well. Because the coaches that are leaving international jobs, there'll be quite a lot of international vacancies. Don't be surprised, maybe Alonso might be wanting one of those or looking at that as well. So that's why I said it's quite hard, going to be pretty hard to find the right guy. Hopefully they take the time because unfortunately the World Cup does add to that, search
It
because
complicates it.
it really complicates it because even some of the managers you might want, well, they might be waiting for, they'll be like, yeah, I do, but I want to wait. I'm also interested in the Portugal job or whatever, Netherlands job as well. So, or, any country. So they might, not quite be certain. So, yeah, I think unfortunately, the World Cup will complicates quite a lot.
But I think coaches that really love their jobs are usually not fan of international jobs. From uh, like somebody like Mourinho said, he will
I mean,
consider international job when
yeah,
it's
club
close to
football is
retirement.
addictive. Go ahead.
Yeah. So some of them might really not be looking at it.
But there's a lot coming to the end of the international that were really good club coaches. There's a lot of them, Martinez, some of these. There's a lot of these other the ones that like someone just said in the chat, Roberto Martinez, for example. There's a lot of them that are coming to the end of their cycle. They've done like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years on the second contract for second World Cup, and that's it now. So there will be a lot of coaches out of the job. Some really good coaches, good quality coaches that were very good at club level as well before they joined international as well. So yeah, that's. But even the ones that are available now, they could have their eyes on one of those international job vacancies that is coming as well. So yeah, I think it really complicates things quite a lot. So I think that will the pool of coaches we can look at. I think that will be quite shorter because of that as well, in my opinion. And it will take longer. I think it'll take much longer. People think we're going to sign someone in the next 2 weeks. It's not happening end by the end of the season. I'm seeing it going in quite into the off season till that happens. Maybe even straight after the World Cup if it's one of those guys they're waiting for.
All right, Bands is here, but before we bring on Bands, I'm gonna catch up. I think a little bit of what we have in the chat there. Then I'll bring
Was
on
Martinez at
Bands.
the game? I think Martinez was at the game today. I think and Maresca.
Yeah, he was
Martinez.
sitting next to
Yeah. There's
Thomas
what
Tuchel.
there's a connection already there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know because I don't think they who are they there to watch. You
He was with
understand?
Tuchel, wasn't he? Yeah, it was next to Tuchel.
Yeah, he
Yes.
was with Thomas Tuchel. So I mean, I think there's a lot of mysteries there, but I'm not gonna try to, you could say, crack my brain to fabricate. what's it called? Fabricate theories. All right, let's see the FA Cup. I think we've also read that one. We've addressed this one. This Arsenal bro here. So it's time now to deliver those bottle at Etihad. It's a possibility. It's still 50-50. Just win your next game, then more pressure on them, then you can win it. But right now, you can't say for certain you've won it. Had it been a loss, then it'd be a lot more difficult for them to catch up. Yeah, like Pep said, it's no longer in their hands. Where is City? YouTube is today. It's not their right, really. West Ham is going to beat them 4-2. Who's playing West Ham? Arsenal will be playing West Ham United. So, and it's a tricky game. So City faces Bournemouth, Brentford, Aston Villa, and Palace. I did all the maths already. So Aston Villa will be very, very tricky. Palace very tricky. Bournemouth very tricky. So it's looking really, really difficult for them. All right, let's see what else we have here. Did you see the game today? David Moyes almost exposed Pep. I told you they're probably going to win. I thought they were going to win, but they didn't end up winning. And because and his boys, they were all out to get goals and they were exposed on occasions. And this I sit there after Everton 3. What else we have here? Arsenal need 2 wins only to win the league. They can lose one game and still win the league. Yeah, but who's to say that they're definitely losing just one? Yeah, I'll go check it. Jay says exactly, coach, with conditions, and I have no faith that our hierarchy will grant exclusive powers or agree to unmanage these conditions. That's where we differ. You think they will? I think they will. If they really want to make the change they promise they're going to make for us to do well, they will grant the certain managers their will to do well at Chelsea. So anything else? Barnes, let's hear you before we call it a day. We wanted to round up before you joined. I saw it was you before I actually added you to the studio, but I want us to hear from you before we call it a day.
Okay, Kochi, thank you for the platform, and I would like to
Yeah,
say
big
big
up, my
ups to
bro. It's been a
everyone.
minute. I know it's not your fault. You probably don't know we've started streaming again.
No, I've been listening to you guys. Just that I'm about to go to Ghana, and I'm in the preparations and everything. Right now,
Woohoo! I'm gonna
I
tell you
just want
what you're gonna buy for me.
right now I just want to
I'm
travel,
serious. I'm
enjoy
serious.
my
I'm gonna
life.
tell you. I will message you what you're gonna buy from. You said things you will buy from
you
me.
you don't have a problem, Kochi. And I would like to say
All
that
right, my
this is the
bro.
best time for me to go somewhere, relax, and relax my mind and forget about Chelsea Football Club for now. And I believe a lot of pundits and a lot of diehard supporters are almost fed up with the job that is going on right now. And I also want to believe that I'm one of those people who think that it is about time we take a drastic measures to make sure that this football club doesn't go into the drain. Because if you look at what is going on and you've been around for so long, it looks so bad. Even back in the 90s, Chelsea used to have some good players who were just competing for the Europa Cups. Those days it was called Cup Winners' Cup or so. I stand to be corrected. And they were winning FA Cups and all those kind of things until Abramovich took over. And these guys, if they were like governments, I think after 4 years, they have to ask themselves whether the job that they've done over here at Chelsea is something they need to continue or they have to give up and give the football club to somebody who can run it perfectly. Right now, I don't care whatever goes on. Me, if Kochi, you can remember so well, back in the days, I think 2 years ago, I needed these guys to be out. But I think Bobby was like, no, it's not the fault of the owners. And I came on board after we won the Club World Cup, and I think that was the best way for them to scam me, for me to believe in the project. But as the whole thing is going right now, it doesn't look good at all. Like it doesn't look good. It's so bad. We are breaking all records, starting from the 1920s, and a whole lot of records are being broken. And I think they have to sit down and make sure that they listen to the fans who this football club belongs to them. If they want to be here, then I think it's about time they change the model they always talk about. We don't want any AI crazy things out there. We need real people to go out there and work for this football club. As it stands right now, I believe a lot of people will be so mad to see these guys in office come next season. A lot of people are fed up, and I think they have to rescind their decision, give the football club to someone who can really run the football club very well. If you take somebody like Todd Bowley, I think that guy could do something better. Ed Valley is somebody I cannot trust because I saw these two gentlemen and I've said it on this on platform. I knew who was more open to the Chelsea fans and who was so arrogant to some of the Chelsea supporters. And Egbali is that person. If you see his demeanor, he's somebody he will not even listen to others. I'm telling you from how I saw this guy, and I read people very well. But when Todd Bowley was here, or should I say, when he was in control of some of their signings, at least he was making a lot of effort to bring some big names. And I wouldn't mind if they can give that football club to him, or let's go to the Middle East, get some rich billionaire, let him take over, give the football club to expertise, involve more past football players. Didier Drogba is out there, John Terry is out there, a lot of the guys are out there. Even Asian is into coaching right now. Why don't you involve some of these guys? Let them come and work so hard for the football club because it seems like there are so many mediocre, people who are around our football club. And I can tell you that the way things are going, if people think it looks good, then we have to be very, very careful because a team like Wimbledon, they used to be a force to reckon with back in the days. Where are they now? They are nowhere to be found. There are so many big, 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 big teams I can mention. They came and they were not able to do things very well, and they were gone. And I also heard a lot of about coaching and Kuchi. I'm going to say this: it might help the football club. People are not paying attention, but if people can pay attention, I believe they can also side with me from the suggestion that
Sorry,
I'm
who's
going
in
to
the
make.
toilet?
Maybe one of the guys. um, there is this coach I would like to recommend. I know a lot of people don't know much about him. He has been in Europe and he's doing some wonders out there in South America. You can call me whatever you want to call me and you can disagree with me, but who knows? It takes one opportunity for somebody to come to the limelight. It's not like nobody knows him. A lot of people might know him. His name is Abel Fernando Morare Ferreira. This is the guy who first gave Estavao the opportunity to play for Palmeiras. Current Palmeiras coach, bring this guy. He is a Portuguese. He plays for Lisbon for a very long time. He knows the terrain very well. Bring John Terry. Let John Terry be in the dressing room. Bring Thiago Silva. Let him pair with this gentleman. Give the team to them next season. Let's see what goes on. I don't trust any coach right now. A lot of people are talking about Xavi Alonso. Let's not forget Xavi Alonso still have an unfinished job at Real Madrid. He could go back to Real Madrid. It's a matter of him doing very well with Chelsea Football Club. He could also go to Liverpool because he is a legend of Liverpool. So don't even give the job to Xavi. He was in Madrid, things didn't work for him. So when he comes here, he feels nothing is going to improve. So this coach, nobody knows a lot about him. Bring him. He has a lot to offer. You have Brazilians, you have Portuguese, you have a lot of Spanish people. He knows the way they play. Bring him on board and let him bring the best out of the players. If you watch him and the way he plays his game, he played against Chelsea in the Club World Cup. We were so lucky to run away in that particular game. So if we can give that guy opportunity to come for him to work for the first time in a very top, quality club, I believe the materials are there. He has the expertise and he has so much to offer. let's forget about the Auroras and the Javi Alonso. Sometimes there are some head coaches who do so well in certain clubs, but the moment you give them the big job, it becomes a problem. There is no always a possibility for that person to come to a big club and succeed. Graham Potter was typical example. I've seen a lot of people mentioning names. We have to be very careful because if you don't get it right the next season, then I think we are in a very serious trouble.
Yeah, Thomas
So
Frank
me,
is a
I
good
believe
example.
We
if we
must get
can
it
look
right.
elsewhere and get some people, but I want a legend of our football club to be involved in the dressing room. I want somebody like Terry and Thiago Silva to be there, scream at those people who don't want to even run on the field of play, or because they are having problem with the situation right now. You need somebody with balls to let them know that if you wear the blue and white jersey,
Mansu, why you
But I have a
why you
question for
have to
you.
say boss?
I have a question for
yes,
you. Yeah. Are you aware that John Terry recently said they didn't reach out to him? He didn't get a text after after this guy was fired, and then they now hired this one that doesn't have a license. Before they put this guy in charge,
you know
McFarlane.
why? You know
Yeah.
why?
You know,
Because
he
you
speak.
are the football club is being run by mediocre people. They
Yeah.
think John Terry was long affiliated with the past owner,
Yeah,
so
and
there is
he's
no
always
need for us
criticizing
to.
them. Yes,
Oh, how many of the Abramovich boys are involved with our football club right now? A lot of them are pundits. They are outsiders. They
yeah,
don't regard them
yeah.
because they don't want those people to come because these boys have experienced some quality leadership and some quality ownership in place. So
And these guys don't
Go
know
ahead.
what
when
they are
they
I'll be
come
doing.
right
there,
back. Go ahead.
and they see things are not being run perfectly, of
Yeah.
course, you have Mikel voicing out to
Jude,
tell you that you are not doing the right thing.
over to you. I'll be right back.
Okay.
No
All right.
problem. You have
Okay.
Mikel, you have John
Vance, hold
Terry.
on. Jude, over to you. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay.
Jude,
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was just saying that the
yep. I'm telling you, all the Abramovich signings, all the people who have been successful, they are not going to sit down to watch some of these things going on. Because let's not forget that these are guys who came into this football club and they had an owner who was aiming high, who wanted everything to be a top notch. I'm telling you, if Abramovich was here, McFarlane is not going to be even an academy coach. I'm not kidding. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that when Mourinho was here back in the days, do you know who was the academy
What do you
coach?
mean why he wouldn't be an academy coach? Why not?
He wouldn't qualify for the job.
Why not? He's been academy. He
Why
has
not?
been.
Because they want a quality person to be out there. Hold on. Let me tell you something.
Do you know where he comes from?
You guys know Rogers was academy coach back in the days. Quality
Do you know
coach.
where McFarlane comes from?
I don't know where he comes from. He
Ah,
recently
okay.
got his license. And if Abramovich was here, I don't think he would be around even in the academy. This is my opinion. Probably you can disagree with me.
Did you
If
realize
you
they
have
won the
somebody like
championship?
Rogers, who later on became Liverpool coach, being the academy, coach, it tells you the level we were in back in the days. And if you are a Chelsea supporter and you believe in whatever is going on right now, then I think you don't really love this football club. We don't have to
That's not true.
think that everything is okay for us right now. No, 6 games, 6 games, going 6 games without a win, scoring 1 goal. Come on, guys.
Okay,
It's
that's fine,
about
but
time
I don't know why
everybody
you're having
sits
a go
up.
at McFarlane, and because he's actually been the youth coach. And what did the under 18s and under 21s just do?
Of course, no, he's good with at that level. But what we are saying is, what we are saying now is that we should have even had a structure in place that will have had somebody capable of stepping in, and not even McFarlane. Somebody
Well, that's
like
why you
if
guys, you don't even know where he came from, and you're saying that, but you don't know
no,
where he's
he's
come from.
been in the system. McFarlane has been in the system.
How
Where he
long?
came from, Dante?
How long has he been in the system?
No, where he came from. You need to educate us because I don't know
How
where he
long
came
has
from.
he been in the system? Sorry,
I
Masola.
know he's the under 18, is he under 18 or 21? 'Cause I
Under
can't remember.
21, yes. Under
21, and
21.
those guys are doing very well.
They've won the championship, yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Do you know
Um,
who recruited those guys when they were
where
7, 8,
McFarlane
9?
comes from being an assistant coach at Man City for 5 years.
Man City, which
Yes.
at which level?
As an assistant coach, just one of the assistants, and under 21 level, under 18, under 21, and assistant, one of the
At
many
the time,
assistants.
was he having any like licenses? He didn't have any licenses
No,
to.
he's still doing that. He's still learning. He's still becoming.
No,
He
but you
hasn't
can't
stepped
use
up.
Chelsea Football Club to do the learning.
What are you
For
trying to
your
say? You want
career.
someone with a license at the under 18 level? That's not going to happen. It never
No,
No, but
happens.
no,
I'm saying
he
that.
no, he has enough license for his level he was. It's not that he didn't have enough to become Chelsea head
No, but
coach.
it's so
Yeah.
laughable that at this
He
point,
he can
a
be interim
whole
coach. He has
football
been.
club
He
like
has been
Chelsea,
coach.
a whole football club like Chelsea is even thinking about having this guy. Have you seen his demeanor? The last time we won against Leeds, I was
What
telling
do you
somebody
mean?
that
Why are you having a go at him? What is he supposed to do? He's trying his best. He
he
did pretty
he
No, no,
well
no,
the
he,
no,
last
no, no.
he
time.
He's not having a go at him. He's having a go at the structure. The
like
structure that
if
made
I was
us.
McFarlane,
Yeah, that's yeah.
if I was
But those are the
McFarlane,
type of coaches you have. I don't understand what you're
no, if
saying.
I was McFarlane, I would say sorry. This job is not for me. I don't qualify to be there. But
Okay,
he accepted it.
you're having a go at him. Then that's I'm not sure why.
No, but why? Because I know he's a nice gentleman. He was able to draw with City. He was able to beat Leeds. The way things
Yes.
are going, if we don't take care, and the way Tottenham is also having a very tough form right now, we might not even win any game. We have about 3 games or so
Okay, but
to
what's
go.
your solution? Who if a manager leaves and you need an
My
interim
solution
coach?
is this season is over for us. We don't
Yes.
have any hope of going to Europe or whatever.
I don't even want us to go to Europe. Let's
Yeah, me,
focus
I
on
wish we can
domestic. Yeah.
lose all
Well,
the
it's not over
remaining
yet.
games.
There's still
I
games to
wish we
go.
can lose all the remaining games
No, I don't
financially.
want us to lose, but we don't have to go to
No,
Europe.
bro, let's lose all the games.
Why
Let's
would
lose
you
all
want to
the
lose?
games so that these guys will be
You're saying
affected
people that think
financially.
that way are not true fans, but you want to lose.
No, 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 no. I'm a
If
true
you
fan
lose, it's
because
not good for the integrity of the club. Then it's not good for
no,
the.
but what
It
I'm
won't
saying
show
is
those players
when
hope. Yeah.
something like that happens, these guys financially will lose a lot. They might even considering selling the football
No,
club. Right now, I
no,
want them to sell the
we
football club.
can't
They're
be
not selling the
wanting
football
Chelsea to
club, Bam.
lose.
I don't know
The
why people
only
keep saying this.
Why
the,
can't they
the only
sell it?
reason I don't want us to be in Europe is because if we start next season without Europe, we'll be able to focus more
To
on.
regroup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah,
if this
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
me, I don't hate them. Oh.
That's how I
Like
see it
during the
too.
Pochettino time.
I don't hate,
We
I
can't be
don't hate
saying
them.
that we want us to lose. No, I'm not on that
And I
bandwagon
think
at
that
all.
was why Conte won league then, because we were not in Europe. It was just Premier League.
You know
It
something?
Yeah.
was.
I don't hate these owners, but if they can do things right, they can bring us on board. Because right now it seems like we go back and forth. They will lure you with something. They lure us with the European Conference League Cup. They were able to also convince us with the Club World Cup. So me, I was so sure. Me and Kochi were here on the platform bragging that we stand a chance of winning the league, as if Kochi knew whatever was going to
No, he
happen
didn't
this
say.
season. I
He
said we
didn't
were
say
going
that.
to win. We were very, capable at the time.
No, he didn't say we're. He said
It
we're
was
not
it
winning.
was a debate. Bands thought we were gonna win, and we
I
said
said we were
no.
going to win, and Kochi said
Yeah,
no, we don't stand any
yeah, we
chance.
said no. Yeah,
Kochi was no Bams. This thing, I don't think the team is ready for the league. I was so sure. I thought we were going to win Champions League. I thought we were going to win the league.
No.
And
I
look
mean,
at what has
top
happened
top
right
four
now,
will have
bro.
yeah.
top
Band
four will
said
have
it.
still been a good
Dante, you
I
performance
remember,
for
said
us.
right?
it.
Bam said it. Yeah,
Coach,
yeah, yeah. But he did say it himself. But I'm saying we didn't have that thought. We
yeah,
didn't
you
say
No,
that.
guys
he
were
knows.
like,
I think
no,
he
Bams.
agrees. I think he
You guys
agrees.
disagree with me that Bams,
Mhm.
no, the team is not ready enough to win the league. And Kochi, I remember in quote, or maybe I stand to be corrected, he was like, no, we need to wait for one more season
Exactly. Yeah.
or so before we can win. So
And
just
there are few signings more.
yeah, just if you can't do the job, give it to somebody. Bring in the right people. Nobody will be against you because we all love Chelsea Football Club. Coach,
And
if
all this
you
thing
are
you're saying, who are the right people?
yeah,
You
they
Exactly.
said
have
the
to sit.
coach that's there shouldn't have taken the job. Well, who should have taken the job? Somebody has to do the
He
job.
had to, yeah. He
He
had
Yeah,
got
to.
like
rewarded for his
I think we can
achievement.
take our frustration to a point of implosion, which doesn't make sense. We can't be
Well, that's
saying things
most of the
like,
fan
"Oh,
base
we have
for
to
sure.
lose, we have to." I mean, that's just a bit silly.
no, but
You know,
Bobby,
yes, we know that
Bobby,
things
if
are.
if you really believe that we can win some of the remaining games, then I mean, me right now, I've lost a lot of hope. I don't have. How can a player like Cole Palmer? I know he had an injury, but he has had one of the worst seasons ever since he joined Chelsea. A whole Cole
That's
Palmer,
true.
like if he's playing,
That's
he
true.
doesn't express himself very well. The only person
But
who is really
remember,
striving hard is João Pedro. Look at Kukureya.
remember, Cole Palmer has never been through. He's still quite a young player. He's never been through an injury process like he is now. We all
Yeah,
can
I
see
understand.
he's still probably still carrying some
I really
niggles.
understand.
That's
I
why
don't
I
know if
don't want him to go to the
I
World
don't
Cup.
know
I
if it
think he
has to do
needs to
with the
rest.
injury. I don't know if it
But
has to
Bobby, I
do with
think
the
he goes.
injury.
It's a novice experience for him, like you said.
He needs to rest. That guy hasn't had a summer break for the past 3 years. You know, he's a human being. This is part of his problem. If he goes and he doesn't relax over this summer, he will carry on with this poor form into the next season and it could completely destroy
He
his
does need
career.
that rest.
It's
He does.
it's looking
Well, he
so
did.
You
like
know
He
who
did have
that
a 2 months off.
reminds me, Bobby? You know who that reminds me?
Reece James.
Mount.
Mount
Mount.
Mason Mount.
Mason
Yeah, it's
Mount.
another one that was burnt out. Yeah, it's
Jesus
another one.
Christ. Thomas Tuchel drained the life out of him.
Yeah, you know,
Can you
you
Even in
can't
my
imagine?
do this.
opinion, when it was clear that he was mentally tired, making bad decisions, making bad final decisions, but because he's that sort of player that even though he's mentally tired, if you have him on the pitch, he still
You still want to play.
run. So
But he
Tuchel kept
Palmer doesn't do
playing
that though.
him.
He
No, I'm
doesn't
not
run
saying
like
Palmer
Palmer.
doesn't do that.
And
What it
Tuchel
reminds me is
will.
the rest, rest that I was saying that Mount needed a break at the time. I think Palmer
Yeah,
could do with a break.
Palmer needs a full summer
I
He,
think
off.
he
he,
could
He
he
do with a
was
needs
break.
out
it.
nearly
And
3 months, right?
even if you think the injury is the reason, he could do with a break. A break would do him
But he did
more
have a
good.
break, coach.
And
He had
Kochi,
Yeah,
over
but
two
Maybe
wait,
months he was
one
out.
more.
there's a
one mistake we
difference.
made.
There's
One
a difference between having a break when you are having time off and having a break because you're injured. Because you're injured, you're doing rehab throughout that break, which
He
isn't
did, but
quite
he
the
also
same.
went to Dubai at that time for the heat and to rehab there as well. So he was basically doing holiday and rehab. So he had 2 months
Maybe
off.
he needs more. Maybe he needs
Kochi,
more. Go ahead, Bobby.
Kochi. One
I think
mistake
he
we also
does need
made.
more.
One mistake we also made was letting Jackson go to
Oh, don't
Bayern.
bring this up again, please.
We made a mistake of letting Jackson join Bayern and bringing in the lap. The lap has been so much failure to the extent that I'm so surprised. Like it seems like he was more and like he was more better with Ipswich than joining Chelsea. And
Of
even
course he was
Madueke.
better because they played very differently.
I mean that's a sensible argument. Why? Down to approach. First of all,
We
system.
don't play like
More
that.
importantly, yeah, we
You
don't play
know,
like that. More importantly,
because
they play
even
very direct football.
if Jackson was here and you pair Jackson with João Pedro in a game, obviously he would have like more, he will create more chances for João Pedro. So sometimes I regret like allowing this guy to go to Bayern. And Bayern, he doesn't have enough, opportunities out there. So what was the point? Somebody like Madueke. Coach,
What
you
does
remember
that
I
tell you?
said I was a bit
What
worried
does
that
that
we
tell you,
allowed
Barnes?
this guy to go to
Did
Arsenal.
you
What
just
does that
seriously
tell
say
you?
Madueke?
Eh?
You just said
He
Madueke.
went to Bayern knowing that Kane is there, right? Knowing that they had Kane before he went to Bayern, he knew they had Kane,
Yeah,
which means he was eager to leave, irrespective of the situation he'd face when he gets to Bayern.
the
That
same for
tells you,
Probably
Madueke.
we don't know what
yeah,
happened
exactly.
between
That
him
tells
and.
you he wanted to leave. He wasn't pushed out, except if Maresca did, but the club wanted him to stay, and
We
the club was
No, but
recalled him.
torn. The
Maresca
Yeah,
didn't
price,
have enough opportunity for him. The way things were looking, it
yeah,
seems like the
exactly.
coach
So can
didn't
we not
have.
start saying as if the club pushed him out? Because the
No, the
price we
club.
were asking, yeah, go ahead.
No, but I think Maresca was more like going to restrict him. He didn't have enough, role for him. I think that was the reason why he joined Bayern Munich. Because at the time, João Pedro was coming in, Delap was coming in, and maybe Maresca thought that having all these guys, I'm okay. So even if Jackson will
well,
leave,
that's why you stay and back yourself, not actually leave.
no, that's what me I'm thinking. Because if don't let's not forget that we were supposed to sell this guy outright to Bayern. But Bayern were like, no, we want the loan deal. So it was back and forth until we agreed on a loan deal for him to join. But
A
later
lot of
on,
money. That's a big loan.
yeah. So probably Maresca didn't have enough role for Jackson. That's why he left. But
If
to be honest with you, comparing Jackson to Delap and some other players, even Gittins came, I thought he was going to be the next big thing. But look at what is going on. More
well, he's been injured as
disappointing.
well, so that
Yeah,
you're
more
forgetting that
disappointing. But me,
they're
I
under
always want to
21.
give people the
He's a young
opportunity.
player. He needs
Gittins
another
should
maybe
come back.
season.
Hold on. Gittins should come back next season. Prove to me that this is
Exactly.
the reason why we came to buy you. You always
Of
have to give.
course.
Gittins will come back and he won't last 3 months. He's an injury-prone player. He's an injury-prone player. I
Wow, I
don't
didn't even
expect
know that.
anything from Gittins. I don't.
Because he got injured
It's
once,
a
Bob. You can't
mistake.
say that. It's
No,
not like he's
Bobby
he
every.
was
Gittins
injured a lot
isn't
at
injury prone. He's not,
he
in
was
my
injured a
opinion.
lot at Dortmund. He
So
kept
they
on
didn't
getting
do
injured.
all this. They didn't do
You
all
know,
this. Thing. They didn't look into all the injury situation, and they
I
just
don't
went into.
know.
No, usually with young players, injury you can't don't make it such a concern. I think they outgrow it in some cases,
They heal very
most
quickly as
cases
well. You
actually.
heal much quicker. Yeah.
Yeah, so they heal quicker. Yeah, so not the clubs don't pay that much attention to that is the injury record of young players. It has to be chronic before they say, you know what, not this one. And in the case of Gittins, I'd say,
Not
yeah,
chronic.
nothing
No.
chronic in my opinion.
It's
Just to
so
add,
sad, Kochi.
just to add to
Right
the
now.
Jackson stuff. Let's hope Bayern Munich win the Champions League, because if they do, we get another 12 million apparently.
Yeah, that the game
For
between
who?
PSG, the
For
game
So we got
Jackson
between
being
8
on
PSG.
loan
million.
there.
Yeah, so we got 8 million for the loan already,
Who,
and if they win the title, any cups or the Champions League as well, we get another 12 million on top of that 8 million.
Ah.
whoever wins tomorrow's game, no Wednesday's game, is going to win the Champions League. Between Bayern Munich and PSG, one of them is going to
No,
win the
between
Champions League.
Arsenal. Let me
Arsenal,
say
oh
this, Vance. Let me
nope.
tell you this, and I've talked about that. Between Arsenal and Atletico, whoever wins it. Why? They
Hey,
have a tighter defensive line than the other two, and
Kochi.
they are very good on the break.
Well,
If
right
Arsenal
now,
gets
when
to
you
the
say something,
final,
I'll believe you because anytime
listen.
I
If
argue
Arsenal
with
gets to
you,
the final, if Arsenal gets
anytime
to the
I
final, they're winning it.
anytime I argue with you with something, you always go ahead and you win the argument. So I'm going to watch whoever is going to win. But that kind of game PSG is playing,
That's why I said let's hope Bayern Munich win, because that would be
Do,
pretty
do
good.
you see how porous? Do you see how porous PSG are defensively, and not necessarily because they have a bad defensive line, but because of the way they play, and they
they
don't play differently.
they come to you, they come with the ball. Like PSG 14,
Exactly, they believe
if
in
your
their
defense is
pressing,
not
which
good,
was why if they pass the ball, they kick it to your area with the belief that they will still get it back.
this
But against
this
Arsenal or Atletico, they're facing a much tighter defensive. They will be facing much tighter defensive line, and with the way they play, there will be spaces, especially Arsenal, to exploit.
Kochi, the
Not that much
PSG team,
Atletico.
the PSG team has some strong attacking force. And look at the boy, the
But
young boy, this African boy. Is it Emery or whatever? Look at the way he has integrated into the side.
He's
And
French. He's French. Yeah.
yeah, his father is from Cameroon or DR Congo or so. Look
Yep.
at the way he has integrated so well into the team. You understand? So these guys, they have Bakola, they have Cavastalia, they have even the defenders join the attack. Look at Nuno Mendes
But I
and
think what coach is saying, and I agree,
Hakimi.
you can't play basketball football with Arsenal. That's not going to work.
you
No, but
cannot. You're gonna lose.
anyway,
Arsenal, they're not Inter Milan. Had
And last
Inter
time they
Milan
played
defended
Arsenal,
well,
they
yeah,
struggled against
they could.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
this PSG team,
yeah.
people should be afraid
Well,
of
they
them.
beat
Like,
them.
look at the
They
way
beat
they
them,
did
but they
to Bayern.
struggled. Arsenal could have won.
They
Hmm.
played much better than them, Bobby. They got
Yeah.
lucky, to be honest. I think Arsenal deserved that one. When I
That's why
saw
I'm
that, I'm like,
praying Arsenal they don't get to the final. If they get to the final, they're most likely winning it over PSG because they will
Anyway,
smother them defensively.
unless something happens, but
and they'll stop the game 100 times as well, so there won't be much flow for PSG.
Yeah,
hmm,
yeah, exactly. They know
interested.
they know how to play dirty, and they deserve to be where they are because yeah, it has worked for them throughout the competition. They
Hmm.
were able to beat Bayern. They defended resolutely at the Emirates and hit Bayern on the break on occasions and cut them off. They beat them 3-1, right?
Yep.
And Bayern, you could argue, has a better squad, but defensively, they can. Arsenal is a different. They are on a different level than any team in world football right now.
But you know, Bayern is getting better each and every game. Like they were not like they used to be when they met us now.
I'm not. Here's the thing: Bayern, in terms of attack midfield, they will do whatever they want, but because of the way they play, they have defensive issues. Not necessarily because they have a bad defensive line. That's the point I'm trying to make. You see that final, they beat Inter Milan. What was the score? It was a final, right? What was the score in that final? What was it? Was it
Which
the
one?
final or the semi? There was a game where it was back and forth in terms of goals that was scored on that day. I don't know whether it was the semi-final or so. If you can defend very well, PSG finds it very difficult. And if you defend very well and you have a very good potent attacking line, you're most likely to beat them.
And
The one
another
one
big
Because
good
they
thing
get
weakness.
about one
Uh,
good thing about
set
PSG,
pieces are a very big weakness for PSG because they don't have they got very small midfielders and
exactly.
outfield players.
one good thing about PSG squad, all the attackers they know how to score from outside the 18 box. Look at Cavastalia. Some of his goals that he scored is so amazing. He will stand outside the 18 box, boom, place the ball. Look at Dembele. And even look at who was Bakola and all those guys. The other guy, Due. These are like quality players. So with Arsenal,
And
like
those
Arsenal,
two, we tried to sign both those players. We tried to sign them.
Yeah, they were saying don't sign them, they're kids.
Yeah.
who Cabastalia or who Due.
No, no,
They
no.
didn't want
Due
them
and
to. There's a
Bacola.
duo
We went for
Yeah.
both of
and
them pretty
Bacola.
hard, but they
Chelsea
said
And
fans didn't
do
want them.
do you know even
they want to
Chelsea
stay in France.
Chelsea nearly signed Checky when he was at Leon. I think
Yeah, but we didn't. Chelsea fans didn't want them either. They say he has attitude issue.
yeah, I remember. We nearly signed Checky and look at him right now. He has
Well,
made this
he did at the time.
team.
He had some problems off field, but he's grown up in the last 3 years. So I
But
think,
you know that he. I mean, kids will always be kid.
yeah. But
And
it was very risky for any.
Dante,
That's
you
why no
remember
club
what I
bought him,
said at
coach.
the time? The so-called attitude issue is something that comes with the territory of being a very good player.
It
Basically,
does,
I think
Well,
it has.
well, this
but you
is
can't upset the
this
dressing
is
room. You still can't.
this is the point.
Yeah, go on, Bobby. Sorry.
This is the point. This is the point we make, isn't it? At what point do we say you've made too many mistakes? You know, the sporting directors have made too many mistakes.
Bobby, but they tried
Too
to sign
many.
every top young player in we went for. Some of them you got them, some of them we didn't. But you can't tell me that they're not a good sporting directors when they identify these players that are so good. Don't forget Olise. We went for Olise. We were going to play his release clause. But what happened? Crystal Palace got him to say no something and renegotiate and did another contract. And the following year, obviously with Bayern, we tried to get him again, but they didn't want to sell to us. They sold to Bayern, and he wanted like 300K from us per week. We weren't going to give him that. But the point is, I identified all these players, Bacola, Due, so many in Europe, some of the best players. We tried to sign all those players. So you
But
can't
Dante,
tell me
have
they're
they
not
made
doing what they do.
mistakes? Have they
They've
made
made
mistakes? That's
mistakes.
the question I want
100%
to
they've
ask you.
made mistakes, but
Exactly.
they
That's
were
that's the
asked
point
to do
Bobby is
one
trying
job.
to make.
They were asked what to do one job by the. They weren't asked to sign superstars. They weren't asked to sign experienced players. They were tasked to sign the best upcoming players, and that's exactly what they did. So, and then we went for the best ones. Now we didn't get them for certain reasons, but we went for after all the good ones. Every top young kid you can name, we went after all of them.
So your point is we should be asking the owners the questions we have.
The owners gave him these instructions. They're just doing what they were the best in the Premier League at Brighton doing this, getting
Well,
those
how
type
do
of
we
players.
know that it weren't their decisions to go, their decision to almost always go for the young, you can say the young up and coming players?
How do
How
we
do we
know?
know
Because
that that wasn't the case?
they said that's what they're gonna do. So they've already said it
All
many
right. Let's
times.
see how. Let's see how Bobby. Bobby, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Well, I get his point, but the fact that you go for these players and you don't get them is another issue.
Can't get
Okay,
them all, Bobby. Like
I
Due
take it
Bacola,
Dante,
for
that
example. They
let's have
said
the
well,
no
Bobby's
for
point.
any
it's
reason
not a
because they
matter
wanted to
of
stay in
you
France.
can't get them all. They couldn't get most of them. Okay, Olise, he wanted far more money in wages than we were ready to pay. That's understandable, but I don't buy that with Barcola or Due. But it is what it is. If someone
They said
doesn't
it in
want
an
you, they
interview,
don't
Bobby.
want
That
you.
they said it that they didn't want to leave France. They wanted to stay in France. That was the key decision for them not coming. So yeah, some
Okay.
players,
Well,
they're not
there was Morgan Rogers. They
exactly.
decided not to go for that. There was so many other, even what's his Gibbs White for Forest.
Morgan.
They decided not to go for him
You weren't going to
as
pay
I
him
well.
think that
27
one is
million.
Morgan too. Morgan Gibbs White, isn't he?
Morgan Gibbs White. Then there's Anderson. We've decided
Oh,
not
these
to
are
go
new.
for
These are
him.
just now new. That they haven't really Anderson just this season basically.
They're still
So
on our radar, right?
we don't
All right,
know that
Bobby, go ahead. Go ahead.
apparently.
Let's say you drop so that we can actually call it a day. We've been streaming for 2 hours plus, and it's 9 p.m. for me, and Bobby should be in bed. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, no, that's it. I just think when you're in the situation where there's clear problems with playing personnel, you look at Chelsea, every time there's an injury in a Chelsea game, it's a Chelsea player, especially if it's long term. You look at our players standing next to other teams and we look puny, we look weak, and we play that way. You look at other teams and they're finishing. We can't finish. Many of our players can't even take a shot. Something is really, really wrong in the personnel that's been selected to come into Chelsea. You look at our midfield, they're all vertically challenged. You look at our flanks, the same thing. You look at our centre backs, the same thing. We only have one striker, and even then, he's not really a striker. The whole thing is wrong. And when you have everything wrong, somebody has to be held accountable, and it falls on the sporting directors. Now, can it be rectified? Yes. But honestly, it means you have to tear up the old plan and start with a whole new plan. Yes, you could follow the basics of your
When did it
current
start? Sorry,
plan.
Bobby, to cut you off. When did it start going wrong to you, in your opinion?
When did it start going wrong?
Yes.
I think the beginning of the end was this summer. I think this summer presented an almighty opportunity for Chelsea to go to the next level, and they made bad purchases. They had Esteval before, long-term purchase. That's good. I thought João Pedro was an excellent purchase. Delap, could you blame them for that? Maybe not. But getting rid of Jackson, in my opinion, was a mistake. And the purchase on the left flank was a disaster. I personally think that what is the point in getting rid of Madueke to bring in the two duds that they put on the left? I think that's a disaster.
Madueke doesn't play
And
on the
I think
left.
that was the beginning of the end. What do you mean Madueke doesn't play on the left?
But
He
here's the
played
thing,
on the
Bobby.
left for Chelsea.
He can play.
Jackson
Dante,
could
let's
have played on the
He
left.
played
disagree. He
two
can play
games
on
in
either
his whole
flank.
career on the left for Chelsea. Yeah, he's
What?
not a left
Well, he
winger.
played mainly on the right, but it
Doesn't
doesn't
have
matter.
to.
Here's the thing.
You don't
Bobby's
have
point
to
is this.
label him a winger or anything. He can play there, and he would have played there, as would Jackson have played there. After all, today
What would
when they
Madueke
took
give us
off
this
Derry,
season? He's had 0 goals or
who did
assists
they
like
bring
up
on?
until a few weeks ago.
What?
He's had 0 assists, 0 goals up until a few weeks ago. Madueke the whole season. He did absolutely nothing whole season.
Well,
So
he's
how is
been
he?
injured quite a bit for Arsenal to
No,
start
he
with,
was in.
and
He's played
he's
28
been
games, Bobby.
rotated quite a bit.
He's played
I know you
Here's
don't
28
the
like
Bobby.
games.
him,
Another
and
argument we're
I
making
know
here,
you
Bobby.
like Gittins, but to me, Gittins is of nowhere near his capability, and you don't downgrade. And
Until
these
he
people
proves
downgraded.
otherwise,
He's
right? But
much
here's
more
the thing, Bobby.
Yeah,
technical.
I don't want
Much more
his
technical
proof
than
right
him.
now. I think Gittins is Garnacho is a disaster. There's a reason he didn't make it at Man United. There's a reason for that.
All right.
Gittins the same thing.
He has
You know,
more
people
stats,
keep
better
going
stats
on
than
Gittins this,
Madueke.
Gittins that, Gittins the other. F those stats. That's the reason we're in the
What do you
problem
mean?
we're in
Goals and
already.
assists matter to win
Football
games.
football is more about your optics and what you actually do than statistics. You know, have you ever heard of the saying there's lies, damn lies, and statistics? Statistics can deceive you and they can get you to believe anything. The guy is not good. I don't know why people find it so hard to say that. And he is a downgrade from Madueke.
Who's not? Heston, Bobby. I'm going to say this, and it's my opinion. You're entitled to yours. I mean, anybody can say Ganacho isn't good. I don't think
It's not saying
he's a
it.
bad player.
The evidence is there. He is
And no,
bad.
I'm
He
coming. I'm
falls
coming.
over
I'm
the
not saying
ball. He
I,
doesn't
I wouldn't go to the
do
extent of saying he's
change
not good. I think
anything
it's a
in a
matter of
game.
his profile and the way we play. Would you
Oh
say that
Jesus!
Timo Werner is a bad player? Would you say that, Bobby?
I would say that Timo Werner was a frustrating player in that he'll run
Okay,
around,
let
but
me
when it
explain
came to putting the
That's
ball in the
Garnacho
net,
too.
how his
which was his
let
job,
me explain.
he never did it.
Okay. Okay,
Garnacho,
that's
Timo
how.
Werner is a
Do you know
lot
what he
better
has
than
in common with
Garnacho,
Timo
and he
Werner?
was more
Do you know what
effective.
he has in common with Garnacho, Bobby? Look at what they have in common. They both need space to be effective.
Oh,
So
please.
for me, Garnacho, it's a matter of system
Please,
and
you can give
utilization.
Garnacho all the space in the world. He's physically
I'm not saying
not
no. If he has
capable of
space,
having an impact on games.
I'm
He's
not
not
saying he's the best
capable.
dribbler. He hardly ever
It,
beats his man,
it's
but every
like
now and then he pulls off some excellent defense.
it's like Kepa.
You said dribble.
It's like Kepa. You know, Kepa what actually was and is a very good goalkeeper, but he has a major problem. His physicality. It is his problem everywhere he goes. If Kepa was the size of, say, Sanchez, he would be brilliant. He would still be at Chelsea, but he's not. And that's the problem Garnacho has. That's just the reality.
No,
He
Bobby,
should
here's
not
the
be
thing
anywhere
now.
near
He's not
Chelsea.
physical. You mean? What do you mean by?
Here's
What
the
do you
thing,
mean?
Bobby.
I'm
You
not sure
see
what you want from
Gittins. I'm
him.
going to tell you this. You remember when we signed Garnacho, we talked about it and we say that was Garnacho definitely at the time. We talked about how he was an opportunistic signing. That if it doesn't
Well, to
work out,
you,
no, no, hold on, I'm coming. That if it doesn't work out, that they will sell him. The only thing that angers me is that we could have used that money to sign a defender.
We couldn't,
And it
coach.
is
This is
now
my
that it
thing. I tell
45
angers
you,
me.
million.
we couldn't.
Now,
We
now,
had to
now
be
that
under
it angers me, but
21.
here's the point I'm trying to make. In my opinion, Garnacho isn't a bad player. He's just, you could argue, I think it'd be
Garnacho's a
accurate to say he's a
terrible
system
player.
player. He cannot be effective where he needs to beat his man to do something. He has to have, like you say, against Man City or against a high line Barcelona where you
Coach,
put the ball in behind the defensive line, he chases, gets it.
it's like saying
What?
it's like saying I'm not a bad player at my age and at my level of fitness, that all I need is for everybody else to clear the way for me, let me stand in front
You
of the
did
goal
say the same
line, and
about
you
Timo
pass the
Werner.
ball
You
to
said
me
Timo Werner
and
is
I
a
can kick it
frustrating
into the
player.
net.
Garnacho is actually a much better dribbler than Timo Werner.
Garnacho is a bad player, coach. Let's just say that. That's
No,
what
no.
it
If
is.
you're saying,
He's
no,
a
here's the point I'm
terrible
trying to make.
player.
I think
Gittins was a bad purchase. That's what it is. And
Gittins
those
for
are the
me.
mistakes they made.
Gittins isn't a
Why
bad.
are we
You
trying
can
to
say
make
he's not a bad
excuses for these
player.
guys?
You could argue that maybe a bad purchase because yeah, he needs time, but I think he will eventually come good. Just like you see how Hato picked up form, he was played centrally. He looked like one the best centre back we have at the club. And by the way, I'm happy.
That's a
Correct
good
me if I'm
point,
wrong.
but
Maybe I
Hato
was
still
dreaming.
has his deficiencies. That's a very
What
good
deficiencies
point,
does
but
he
he's
have
still
because he's not tall? I'm just saying.
Hato is
Remember,
not.
he
You put
started.
him in the centre back
We,
position, and in
no,
the
no,
game
no,
against
no,
Man
no. Rosina
City,
played him in that position, and he looked like he was one of our. You could say he's been. You could say he's one of our best centre backs. The point I'm trying to make, I think we have that culture. So, hey, mama, calm down. We have that culture of not being patient with players. You understand? Gittins will come good. Garnacho eventually he will be sold. Probably in the summer I think he'll be gone. But Gittins they're gonna keep him because signing Gittins wasn't signing Gittins wasn't. You could say for me I wouldn't call it a bad decision. I wouldn't. I think he will come good and we'll look back and say, oh, yeah, it was a good decision.
Yeah,
The
he led the
signs
whole
were there
Europe,
when he started showing some confidence. Remember,
and also
that's the same way we gave up on Kukurea.
exactly,
Even
yeah,
some already gave up. Some already gave up on what's his name. Some already gave up on Hato. I remember Rich Moneymaker coming here and
hey,
saying Hato isn't Chelsea level. KDH also lack of patience. He's a good player, but probably because Maresca is already at Chelsea, and so you could say you could say he has within his disposal some players he believes that are most better than KDH, or maybe KDH wanted to leave and just wouldn't want to be a squad player. But go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead so that we can round up, please. It's late for me.
no, no, I've made my point. You know, I'm exhausted with the Chelsea situation. And if we're only going to go into another season of repeating this, then I may as well get myself psychologically prepared not to watch football anymore because
I'm
it's
focused on
not going
supporting
to
Man City
change.
right now.
Man City,
Yeah.
that makes it even
And you
worse.
know why, right?
That makes I don't even care why, to be honest. I
Yeah,
don't
Man
even
City and
entertain
Athletic
that
are
as a.
my two favorite teams at the
Uh,
moment. That could change.
uh, I don't even.
yeah,
All
that's
I
why
know
I'm
is
rooting
that
for the Champions League.
if we're going to keep vying for players like Garnacho and all these mediocre, physically deficient players, then Chelsea's not going to go anywhere. We need some solid players in that team. You know, we need to go back in the days where we had Peter Kenyon go into the transfer market and pick up Michael Ballack, go into the transfer market and pick up Michael Essien, go
Yeah, but
into
you're
the
not talking about
transfer
wingers,
market and
Bobby.
pick
They're
up
not
pick up
wingers.
pick up Mikel.
No, he's just
Well,
talking
our
of character
wingers,
right now.
we're
I think
talking
character is
about
the focus.
Iron
No, it's a
Robin. There's a
physicality
winger. Iron Robin.
and height.
There's a winger for you. Even when we went for small players, we went for very effective players like Damien Duff. We picked quality, quality. What we're picking is mediocrity right now. Completely mediocre, incapable players. And if we're going to keep on with that, nothing's going to change. You
I think
can't tell
we need to
me
change things. Yeah,
you
I
can't
mean,
tell me that
again,
when we had the opportunity to pick up Granov Scalia would have come to Chelsea
no,
had we
Bobby, it
bid for
wasn't that
him.
simple. He didn't want to
Oh,
come to
come on.
Chelsea.
Exactly. We
That's
He
couldn't
not
get
didn't
him
want
true.
to come
anyway,
to Chelsea. It
Bobby.
wasn't that simple. He wanted to go to PSG.
Not true.
Yeah.
There's the way you
Okay.
approach these guys, they will come to you. If you come at them half-hearted and another team comes at them with full chest, of course they're going to go to that other team.
Well, we're not going to beat
You know,
PSG in salary or other stuff they can give him under the table because they're owned. They're very, very differently owned, run. Sorry, by their owners. They're basically a state club, so they got as much money as one. They give him so many deals off field. You can't compete with that if
Yeah,
they want a
Bobby, here's
player,
something else.
they'll get that player most likely.
Bobby, here's something else I want us to talk about. What someday? You see how PSG went to the French FA, and the French FA basically say if the clubs you're playing against can agree, yeah, you have a holiday before your next Champions League game. I've never heard the English FA do that for any English club.
Well, the English FA runs on an entirely different system, and English clubs don't support each other. We
Yeah, they
really
will say
are
no, we're not doing
there.
it, right?
There is no. There is a
Well, you know
total
why they said
dislike.
yes, those clubs? Because they got financial assistance from the league.
Did they?
Of course they did. They didn't do it for free out of goodness of their heart because no team does that. They would have got rewarded by that. And
Well,
that's what I mean. PSG are a superpower over there. They can do anything. They can go to the FA, say,
they do a lot
they,
of corrupt stuff there, so I don't doubt it. They,
Well,
they might have found
the
there's a way they
FA
do it. You remember
the
how they signed
FA
Mbappe, right?
the FA in England works against Chelsea anyway. The government works
true, yeah,
against Chelsea.
true.
So,
That's true.
it's a whole different kettle of fish. And besides, the clubs in England are so competitive that if you give that sort of leeway to one club, you're
You have to
opening
give it
up a
all. Yeah, yeah.
whole can of worms. Yeah.
They make a big fuss. Where in
So,
France, no one's making a big fuss at PSG because they basically they're so powerful and rich, unfortunately. And the other clubs accept it
well,
because they get financial
well,
assistance. So of course they accept it because most of the
well,
French club teams are pretty small.
Didn't
in England,
PSG
clubs like
saved one of the
Chelsea are
clubs, right?
powerful and rich, but they don't
Yes,
allow them to use their riches. All this PSR, FFP, and all that, they exist to destroy Chelsea. The reality is those things weren't even in place until Chelsea came along. So,
Yeah, we
all
caused
this
them to
talk.
change rules.
Yeah, they even changed the rules of amortization because of Chelsea. People could amortize, it was there. I remember
Yeah.
there was a time Newcastle bought a player and gave him an eight-year contract. Nobody said a word. But as soon as Chelsea start doing it, they go to block it. So we're operating under totally different attitudes, and Chelsea's purchasing of players. For example, the only reason we have all this salary cap is because of the PSRs and the FFPs. That's all. If it didn't exist, Chelsea would compete with anybody. Even they're already in debt, so what's the difference? So,
by the way,
I'm
what I just noticed. So if we don't make the Champions League, all the players obviously in their contracts got a 20, I think 25% clause or 20%. I can't remember. Uh, Salary wages will decrease back down 25% basically. So, or 20% I think it was. So if we don't make
yeah, I
Champions League,
don't.
the players will miss out on 20% of salary. That's a lot for some of the higher
Yeah,
earners.
I mean, I don't know if that helps us. I don't know if that helps us with
It
contract
does financially. Yeah.
negotiations with
I
people
think it
like
helps,
like
Bobby,
Enzo.
because that will help us.
Well,
You can say
I'm talking of
balance.
player
It's a cut off of
retention.
the. Go ahead, Bobby.
I'm talking of player retention. There's already a contract dispute with people like Enzo, who I think are looking for a bit more money, and so on. I don't know. It would help generally in terms of balancing the books, but you want to rebuild a team, and you don't want to get rid of every player.
No, yeah, exactly.
You need to
The
keep your
core.
best players. I don't care if people
We haven't
like
tried to get rid of
Badiashile
any good
leave.
player that was successful. Not one.
Sorry.
I said we
So
haven't
did
tried to get rid of one of the better players in our teams. We never tried to get rid of any of those. We haven't got rid of
well, I hope
one
so.
really good player.
I hope so. This summer will tell, won't it? Because this summer will really test the whole structure of the club because it needs to be shaken up. It needs to be restructured. I don't think the rigidity of the salary cap will exist, especially if you're going to go for older players. The only thing is you have to put them on shorter contracts, and you have to understand that the turnover of those players will be seriously diminished, especially if they're mature. So you only need one or two. The tweaking doesn't have to be that much, but it has to be very intelligent. And with the current sporting directors, I don't think they have the IQ for it. We need somebody else.
I think we should call it a day. It's been long. I want to say thank you to Bobby for finding time to be part of the conversation. And Jay was in the chat, Bobby, and the captain of the community in Constantine. Yes, of course, Bobby, our senior panelists. Yes, sincerely do appreciate you, and I thank you for always stopping by to say hello in the comment section to show, yeah, you're still around, but yeah, this show happens at the time when you should be in bed. Thank you to Ibro, my bro. I appreciate you all, and if I miss your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Cheers, guys.
See you from
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. No knock. With every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise.
From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Old stories, living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, we rise again. We rise again. Blue till the end. Blue till the end. This is our name. This is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame. Just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end. Blue till the end. We rise again. We rise again. Blue till the end. Blue till the end. This is our name. This is our skin. Let the whole ground shake. Let the whole world know we don't chase a moment. We are the hope. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end. Blue till the end.
she stay, even through the storm.
From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Old stories, living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin.
When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to